Welcome worldwide to the broadcast. This is the second in a series of information of the brain. Yes, yesterday, or maybe I don't know when, but I think maybe, one, two, three, four, five. It could have been a week, maybe a month. I'm not really sure, but this is number two. No, I'm not number two. No. Number two is somewhere around. Well, he's not here right now, but anyways, don't worry about it. Just know that this is the second in the series, as this is doing for all of you out there. Oh, exhausting. Well, nevertheless, we'll start. Okay, so what happened was, he hate her, okay, and then he ate her because he hated her. Got it? See, he hated her, so then he ate her. But then the waiter told us that the caterer wanted to take us to a seder, okay? But I didn't know that he had ate her already. That's the problem. Where is she? And he said that he ate her. I said, well, you hate her. That's why you ate her. And then he said, but the waiter told me that we're going to have a caterer. And I said, no, he didn't. He said that we're taken to a seder. And I said, but I'm not Jewish. So what are you talking about? And then he said, but you're a kike? A kike? And what? Kike? You mean tight? Tight? Or is it... Who? Wait a minute. Hold on. Kike? You mean Jewish? No. It's kite. Like, you fly it in the air, and it goes wind, ha, blah, 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 ha, 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 yeah. Yeah, like a kite. Kite, not kite. God knows. That's awful. Horrifying. Don't call them that. That's a humiliating, awful way to treat them. Well, they deserve it, but anyways, who cares? Let them, just leave them alone, because they're, important people to, Daddy. He loves them to death. Well, he hates them, actually. That's the real truth. However, he did make promises, and it's all about that. He did to their father Abraham, and the other ones, they were good too, Jacob, Isaac, and all the rest. 12 of them, all of them perfect, doing the things that Daddy likes. And then they had all these tribes, and they blew it. They could not do it, and they fell down. All the time, they never, ever obeyed after that. Never once. Except for no, there was one exception. For the period, it's in the Bible, Bible. It is 2 Samuel, yes, and he was a prophet, but he's not a maniac prophet like all the big prophecies ones. No, he's rational and very logical indeed. They had those too, but for different time periods, whatever. He didn't hijack those ones. They just have to always have a prophet that can speak for God. Daddy, he has that go-between. He makes the promises for his, chosen Hebrew peoples, okay? They happen to be also at the same time practicing a religious practice idea called Judaism. That's the religion, got it? So no. Every Jew that practices Judaism, the religious practice of whatever the hell it is, does not mean that they are chosen peoples, because that is not what it is. It's only the race of Hebrew peoples that come from that bloodline. That's it. Just a small minority. Nothing at all about the political state of Zionist Israel. Look at their fucking flag. I told you, it's a hexagram witchcraft in your face. God already told us they're hateful, wicked, evil people. They never obey. I hate them. And I cannot believe that I made promises to your father Abraham because I can't stand it. And he's mad and angry and all that. So he's seriously mad. And you better know it. He'd been kicking their butts for 2,000 fucking years all over the planet, just like he said he would do. Every single word that he said in that book all came true, all of it. Go ask the Jews, and they'll tell you, yes, they know, of course they do. That's why they won't make peace with these fucking Palestinian motherfuckers, because they say, screaming, I want a peace, I've been here, and they're right, they have been all along, because the reason was that during the only one and only period that isn't, after the Jacob and the 12 sons were doing good things, and then they fell off the bus, and then they started fucking up all the time, well, it was nothing but, and then all the madness began. But then there was a period, like right there in the middle, where this David, big deal, like he's super important to God. Oh yes, Daddy loves the hell out of him. I do not know why. But 2 Samuel will explain every detail about this whole infatuation with him, because nobody can understand what it is about this David, my God, telling us He's committing every single thing you could ever imagine. Talk about sinning. Oh my gosh, breaking laws left and right. And he became the king. He was anointed by God. Oh my, hold on, back up. Let me get there. Where were we at? I forgot. Wait, hold on. He ate her. The waiter came and talked to the caterer. And then I said, the waiter said the caterer to the, taking us to a Seder. I said, I'm not Jewish. And then he said, but you're a kike. I said, no, I'm not a kike. That's a bad word. Don't call them that. They're not kikes. That's just a bad word. And you shouldn't say it. And then he said, I said that it's a kite. You fly it in the air like that. See, a kite, not a kike, dum-dum. So, anyways, well, the Seder, we did go. And then they told us, well, those of us who attended anyways, they're Jewish, right? So they practice that religious thing called Judaism, but that does not mean that they are the chosen ones just because of that. That's totally, entirely different. Only the Hebrew peoples are God's peoples, and everybody that is Jewish is not a Hebrew. The Hebrew is a race of these people. They happen to also practice the same religious idea, construct of a superstructure, cosmological, ex-mundane authority that is called Judaism. Now, exactly what does that mean and why the difference? Because there are Reformed Jews, there are modern Jews, there are Hasidic Jews, there are this Jews, that Jews, this, my God knows the divisions go on and on and on and on. My God, they're all packed into this Zionist state of political Israel, which is completely evil and wicked and nothing but. Their flag says it right on the face, and that's why God calls them all the names. But he made the promises all the same, so he had to give the country back to them, and they had to go back there. And then he said, make it a Garden of Eden, and yes, it is, honey. Oh, my, talk about Garden of Eden. My God, they must be growing food every fucking where because they export 1/3 of the produce to the continent of Europe, the whole goddamn thing. That little, teeny little piece of land, nothing. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, talk about Garden of Eden, my shit, they must be living in the food. Talking about drowning in it. In that little teeny country, and they're producing that much goddamn produce? Are you crazy? Shit, no wonder these people are like, give us a piece of your land, because they can't grow shit on theirs. But the whole reason is because these Jews, since God had already done all these maddening things for 2,000 fucking years all over the planet, just hating them. Oh my God, and still even today, the whole world hates Jews because God told us in the prophet books that he was going to make them a hissing to the entire earth. Nobody will want you. They will hate you because I'm going to make it that way. No matter what, I'm going to do it to you, so beware and get ready because you're going to get it. And he means every fucking word that he said. You better be right on him. Forget it. Daddy does not make statements and then, oh, no, he's just not going to do it. Forget that. Yes, he always does, and you better know it. Fucking A. If he's speaking in that book, talking about something, anything that he says, and he's going to do this, that, the other, you better believe it. It's going to be. So don't interrupt. Come on. So we're on air broadcasting, so somebody is like, interrupting, and whatever. We can handle it. So anyway, back to the show. Back to the, well, this is the show. Well, I think. Well, I don't know where we're at and rash. Okay, kites, not kites. But when we went to we did go to the Seder, and they did tell us that, yes, that this is what happened. Well, oh gosh, I'm not even sure now. I've lost it. I cannot remember. Okay, let's go and talk about let me think. What is the problem with this? Oh, yes, let's talk about this one. Hold on. We need to talk and discuss this thing with this homosexual idea thing, right? Okay, well, there's a big problem with it, okay? Evidently, it's very clear in this book. From the old into the new, both ways, they all claim that this is like a big, big deal. In fact, it's one of the there's only 3 called abominations, which equals, that word implies that if you do one of those 3 things, that you will be dead for it. He's going to kill you for doing it, okay, period. All of the other hundreds and hundreds of laws that he has, there's a recipe. Go ask the priest, whatever you did, they'll tell you the recipe, go do it. You don't even have to call God and tell him that you do it and you didn't, because he already knows. He said, don't pray to me, don't tell me that you did it. I know it already. So if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. You're fine. So that's all. If you don't, you're fucked up. I'm going to get you. And that's it. And I don't forgive nothing. You better do what I say and do my laws, and that's it. You ask the priest, he'll give you the recipe, go do it, and that's all. But these three called, okay, one, killing your babies, okay? Abortion, got it? We're doing it here in the United States. It's called abortion, right? Okay, abomination, you get death for that. Two, second abomination, idolatry. Anything and all things, no matter what it is, made by the hands of man, under the sea, on the earth, in the air, no matter what it is, cup, pillow, floor, table, chair, everything, all things, cross, all idols, pictures of this man they call him Jesus, and he got look like me with high cheekbones and white skin and long hair. Hell no, no, he don't look like that. He's a Jew, right? A kike. No, that's a bad word, but no, he's not that. He's a Hebrew, Jewish individual that was born into this bloodline that is the chosen peoples. He comes from the same bloodline. It traces all the way back to Adam and Eve. Independent verification from the Holy Book. The Holy Book is the template. We do not treat the Holy Book as a history book because it cannot be treated that way. It's a holy book and period. That's it. So why is it important? Because we need to find evidence, anything at all, that can verify all of these things independent of the Holy Book. Whatever it's telling us, right? We need to be sure that this book is all correct and there cannot be an error in it. And that's what the point is. Is it completely true or is it lying to us? Because there's holes all over the book. It contradicts itself, seemingly so, in many places. We know that the gospel accounts are propaganda, white propaganda. It does not mean a lie. Propaganda doesn't mean that. It means that it's using it for a particular purpose to change. It could be black propaganda, yes, indeed, and that would be a deception. Yes, of course. But white propaganda is not a lie because these gospel accounts, we have also independent verification for quite nearly everything about this Jesus criminal guy that they killed on a cross, right? Independent verification from sources outside of the Bible that have every reason in the world to lie to us. However, they don't. They tell us the actual truth, in fact, but for some unknown reason, they confirm it all. But these people are the Jews that hated him, that claim that this is all true. This is why it's important. So that's how we confirmed that. But scientifically speaking, we can trace that particular bloodline, the Hebrew people's bloodline, the chosen ones, in fact, like the Bible does say, to a 6,000-year period backwards, and that's it. It's right there. This is when this Adam and Eve peoples appeared, and we estimate it, give or take a few hundred years here or there, but you can't get absolute empiricism in this method. The bloodline does trace. We know that they were real people, and it does go back to about 6,000 years, and that's it. Because the Bible continues to tell us over and over again, repeatedly everywhere, that it's only 6,000 years since the earth began, and that's not true. We know that. This planet is 4.6 billion years old. Hello. Not at all 6,000 years. Hell no. We know that scientifically. So if the book is telling us 6,000 years, honey, something's wrong. It's very wrong with the book, or maybe not. We have to investigate it, okay? Because we just can't, look away from it because there's too many things in this book that are talking to us and telling us, about ideas and times and changes that will occur throughout all the course of time. Hold on, I have to take a break for just maybe less than a minute. Okay, so just stay right there, tuned, and do not leave the show because there's so much to cover and we're going to get to it. But I have to break for a second and fix something. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Take that. Okay. Just a second. I'm here. Don't worry. I'm trying to do it. No, not yet. I'm not going yet. Just hold on. Commercial and go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom or whatever you need to do. So I come back on air. I'll be back in a second. I'm still on air right now, but I'm using the face and I'm not. Just give me a second. I'm on the way to get there. So, we're back. Okay, good. Commercial over. See, being white, pretty, beautiful as ever in Hollywood. Well, that's where we're producing this, you know, extravaganza or whatever. I think, what is it? Par excellence. Well, anyway, we have a global cyclotronical thing. Cyclotronical. Yes, indeed. It's a particle accelerator. Oh, my God. And it's enormous, this fucking machine, my God. It took 42 independent nation states to pull their money together. It took 46 years to build the bitch. Underneath the ground, 13 feet. Oh, my gosh. What the hell is that machine for? One thing only. We have particle accelerators all over the planet, yes. But they're small ones. We have one in Chicago in this country, too. But, okay, not that big. Look, this is 18 miles in diameter, God knows. It's so big, and it crosses the border of Switzerland and France, both. Oh, God, no. Right smack in the middle of the continent of Europe. They're going to do this thing, and they already did it, honey. It's done. Because what are they trying to do? They want... The scientists, oh my, forever in history have always told us that they just know, but they cannot prove it, no more yet, not yet. Well, they have already now, of course. That's the whole madness. The thing is, all the invisible space in between all the things that you can see and touch and feel and whatnot, okay, that's us in this reality, right? Okay, well, what about the invisible space that is, you can't see nothing, right? It's just the empty space, right? The room, it's just the door, the fan, whatever, me, or it, and the window. Okay, you can see the walls and the what. But what about this space that's, you know, right here? All this madness, just, it's empty. Nothing, right? No. The scientists have all unanimously agreed forever, at least since the 16th century, that is, that no, they know for sure it must be something else going on. Well, they just didn't know anything because they didn't have the technology to look in. I already know, of course, because I come from home. Home, that's not home. No. It's just because I do come from home, I already know these things, and that's the reason why I'm telling you it all, because it's all coming out of the bag already, and I have to tell it all before they can get it out of the bag fast enough to broadcast it to you from them. They cannot get the information to you and tell it to you the way they want to tell it to you because they're incorrect with what they are thinking that they want to tell you. Is bullshit. They're not trying. It's not that they're trying to lie or deceptive on purpose. No, they really truly are scientifically inquiring, and they have found this thing, and they built the big goddamn machine to do that. What it's doing is it's super. This is impossible. Look. This motherfucking machine is so goddamn big, 18 miles around in a circle, and it's like pipes and wires everywhere. Oh my gosh, all around it, and 13 underground feet down under the ground, and in circles around, and it's like a hypercircle, right? Oh wow, and why is it so big? Because what are they doing? They want to smash particles. It's a particle accelerator. I told you we have little ones all over the place, but never this motherfucking big, because it's dangerous. God knows, that's the whole reason. You cannot smash these little tiny one proton, one neutron, that's it, just that, and swing them around this vacuum circus of a circle going 18 miles in diameter at this rate of speed. My God, they want to push it up to the speed of light. My God, no. Oh, no, this is too dangerous. Yeah, no, it's an outrage. Unbelievable. But, oh, they did find what they were looking for. I just knew it. I knew it all along. Of course I know. I know everything, but I'm not going to tell them. I'm not a scientist, and I'm not going to go to their conferences and tell them all about it. No. They're going to have to do it on themselves. Then they did it. Oh, God, no. And what they did is they did this thing. Well, they never did get it up to speed of light. That's for sure. Thank God. Oh, my. But they did get it up. It went up to 75%. Full acceleration. Oh, my. And the machine was like teetering on the brink. And the scientists were like, but hang on, we're waiting. Just wait, hold it for there. Just don't jack it anymore. Just steady, don't let it. It's gonna blow. No, it won't. And the head scientist is telling them, no, wait, just wait a second. It'll pop. It will. And then he goes, bam, smash it, go now. Bam, it popped. Okay, shut it down quickly. Bam, off. Quickly go. Oh, dang, everything's great now. power off, completely dead. Okay, good. We found it. We found it. We found it. We got it. We got it. We got it. What do we got? What do we got? Okay, the Higgs boson particle. This is what they were looking for. They just knew that if this machine could go up to a power of that magnitude, they thought that they could get it up to the speed of light. God damn it, no. This is why the problem, why the machine was like on the brink of like exploding completely. It was going to annihilate like half of Switzerland and France too if it blew, because my God, this machine is so big. And it's underground for a reason, honey, because they're doing dangerous shit. Hello. And all these other scientists over the world, like Stephen Hawking, the super brain him, yes, who made the whole calculation to the beginning of the universe at 13.75 billion years ago, and they all laughed at him, but he's correct, and so it's not a theory, it really is what it is, and he did prove it. Okay, yeah, him. Well, he absolutely disagrees entirely with this whole, and me too, by the way. It is dangerous, my God, it is, yes. Well, anyways, they did it, and they did find what they were looking for, the Higgs boson, at the very last second before the motherfucker was about to blow up. That head scientist just knew, he just did. It's going to pop, I'm sure of it, just wait a second. And they're all nervous and scared to death. They don't know what to do. They're all screaming at him, turn it off, she's shaking, it's gonna blow, it's gonna blow. He's like, no, hold it, hold it, hold it, wait, 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 it's coming, it's coming. And then he went, bam, there it was. Okay, shit, he did it, and then there it was. And anyways, so they found it, and it's called the Higgs boson particle, right? Okay, so what it is telling them with this particle, once they found it, they now understand that this invisible space, no, not him, that's a real person. He's into the closet looking around. They're searching for things. It's okay. We're not worried about it. It's fine. But we have to do the broadcast anyways. We're going to continue. They're just doing their thing. And anyway, we're not worried. It's all good. So, okay, back to the story. Okay, so the Higgs boson particle, right? What is it telling them? It reveals that this invisible space here, in between everything, not the objects of the room, but all the other space in between, the invisible stuff, right? That in fact, indeed, it is another dimension, and it's full of all kinds of things. They just don't know what now. Well, I do know, but I'm not going to tell them that because, my God, I don't want it to come in. Well, they're determined, and they're maniacs. Well, all the other scientists like Stephen Hawking and whatnot are telling them it's an outrage, and they can't believe it, and they're screaming at them to turn this motherfucker off and never turn it back on again. They cannot do this. It's dangerous, and they're going to try to jack it up to 100% power at the speed of light. This is impossible. The danger is if they actually get it to the full power that it can go without it blowing up, if they could actually do it with that kind of power at the speed of light, then smash the two, oh my, the consequences could be anything. It could possibly create a strangelet or even a black hole, for example, that would, in fact, it would just start slowly growing right there where the machine is located in the middle of Europe, and it would simply just very slowly get bigger and bigger, sucking everything into it like a black hole does. Nothing can escape. It just like a vacuum cleaner. But we cannot call it a vacuum because we do not know if a black hole, nobody's going to check, got it? Because nothing can come back. So even if you did put something in there to go and investigate it, you would never get the information back out. So you won't know if there's a place that it takes you or if it's a dumping ground of some kind. Well, we know enough about the universe to say that these black holes are all over the place. We now know that. But there is no dumping ground that we can find in anywhere, anything. So the suspicion is that it may, in fact, take you some other dimension or some other universe. So if that is the thing, if it does do that, but we don't know that fact, but if it does, then it's, they're confusing me because I'm just interrupted and I can't deal with it. But nonetheless, I'm going to keep on continuing. Don't worry. Okay, goodbye. Thank you. Busy. Okay, things, anyway, going and forward. What was I saying? Okay, look, it's like this. They did find it, and, now all the outrage from the other scientists all over the world are telling them, shut the motherfucker down and do not ever turn it back on again. You already now know that, yes, it is full of something, and you don't know exactly what it is, because what we do know, as the other scientists are screaming and raging and telling them, well, what we do know, of course, yes, now we know, yes, we all thought it so too, but look, that dimension, whatever the hell it is not supposed, we can't go into it and bring something in or put something in it either, because what also we know, in addition to the fact that it is in fact a real thing, that's the invisible space here, full of something other than what we are, this reality, which is the operating on the Newtonian laws of physics, etc. Throw the ball up, it comes down like that, okay, all the time, never ever holds in the air, just like the lady, you know, you throw it up and it never comes back down. No, not in this reality. It just always comes down, always, because the laws of physics will tell you from Newton's, you know, he just did that, like right in the 16th century, bam, the whole goddamn thing, all the physics that operate on this goddamn earth, every single thing, like just delivered it in one bag, pop, damn. Not only that, oh my God, Newton, are you kidding me? He also invented calculus and trigonometry, both of new mathematics that Archimedes in the ancient Greek world never did have, but he was always trying to measure this thing that we call time, and Archimedes in the Greek Hellenistic period, oh yes, and where that's circa 500 BCE, give or take, you know, 100 here, 100 there, something like that. But nonetheless, he was a super brain mathematician, and he had algebra and geometry that he was working with, but that's all that he had. So he's trying to figure out, like, what is it about, I can measure space, I can measure distance, but every time I try to figure that out, it comes with the right numbers. He knows that part. It does. It all matches. And he knows what he's looking for. He just already knows that. So it does reveal what he thinks it should reveal in the mathematical operation. But what is the problem is that it comes along with, you know, the little number that goes beside the after the equals 29. Let's say it equals 29, right? That's the distance or the space that he's measuring. Up, down, this way, that way, that. Okay, we can measure all that, right? So he's got the right number. It's 29, and he knows that. That's what he's looking for. It's fine. But the problem is it always comes along with a little number on the top by the 2. It's an exponent, right? Exponent 2 or exponent 4 or whatever the measurement is. It could be greater or lesser. It depends on how much you're measuring. But it always, no matter what he did, no matter how much time, any minute, he did it millions and millions of times over, he could never figure it out. He was wondering to himself, what the hell is this leftover portion? I got to be able to put it into the mathematics, and it won't work. Every time it comes with an exponent, leftover portion, that the right number comes up in the equals, but the exponent remainder has got to plug in somewhere for something. It's got to be, because every time I'm doing this, it comes along with this, and it doesn't make sense. So he continues to ponder over this over the course of his life. By the time he was about dead, just before, he writes in this big, you know, his whole like memoirs or whatever, you know, at the end of his life, and he's explaining all about what he was doing and what he believes this thing to be. And his whole explanation says that he thinks and believes very much that what's happening is every time he measures this space and distance, which we can measure, he's getting the right number, so the exponent is coming along with it, which he does not know what it is, but now he believes that that must be the amount of time that it takes to get from A to B, not how far away A and B are. Got it? He's got that. He can measure that easy enough. But he does not know how to prove that that little leftover portion is the amount of time that it must take to go from A to B. But he believed that that is exactly what it was. So going forward, after we get all the way from 500 BCE into the Common Era and moving forward into this century, the 19th century, 20th century in fact, Einstein, big brain, brainiac, maniac. Oh God, yes, indeed, we all agree. Yes, here, hot tip hooray for Einstein, because he didn't get locked into a loony bin, but he should have. But he was super brain of the world, of course. We all know that. My gosh, things that man fucking produced with the theory of relativity. Oh my gosh, and special relativity, and then this one, the time thing. He had to do it because now he has new mathematics, trigonometry, and calculus, which Newton developed. So he has more tools now to work with, and he believed that Archimedes was correct in fact, and he also believed the same thing. So now he's going to work it out this way and empirically with mathematics, because you can only do scientific investigation. First, the math must work. any theory, whatever scientific, whatever the science is, it does not matter. You must have math first. It must add up to whatever it has to reveal. If it cannot do it through the mathematics, then the theory is dead and in the trash can. You can't even make a fucking scientific investigation if the mathematics is not going to make it. If the math works, then you can go forward with whatever scientific investigational theory that you may have. Like, for example, this time thing, right? Okay, got it. So the whole problem here is we're trying to find out, does time really exist or not? Well, Archimedes thought, yes, indeed it does, and that's what the leftover portion was. Einstein agreed, he thought so too. However, Einstein now is going to plug in the new mathematics to reveal something other, because what he does is, in the pursuit of proving this theory to be true, he finds something else out. Not just that it was only time from A to B. Yes, he got that too. Of course, that first came right away as soon as he did the math, so it worked. But also it told him, because of the mathematics, that time does not in fact really exist at all. It just doesn't. It's nothing. Nothing at all. We have clocks that we put on the wall and we watch what hour of the day it is. We see the sun come up, go down. It's a 24-hour rotation period. That's it. It's just invented by human beings because we have to do something to figure out, like, how come we can't go back to yesterday? How come we can't go forward? We're constrained by these limitations of what we call time. But no, Einstein, he told us in 1932, when he did all this stuff, he said, no, time is not real at all. No. Archimedes was correct. It does, in fact, mean he's measuring from A to B. He gets the distance, and that's the correct. And it also takes a certain amount of time. That's the exponent, leftover number, right? The little number on top, right? It's leftover. It tells you how much time it takes to go from A to B. So he was correct. He proved that too. And then, in addition to that, he said that because of all of these things, in addition to the mathematics reveals that time, in fact, is an illusion, that it is not it doesn't exist at all. But that was the whole point, because everybody wants to understand, why are we constrained by its limitations if it isn't real? If it isn't really occurring at all, like nothing, like they kept explaining to Einstein, no, you got to be wrong, because we're constrained by it. We cannot jump to yesterday or to tomorrow. We have now and only now. This is the present, and that's all we know. So he continues to tell the scientists, no, you don't get it. It doesn't mean that. The reason, he says, is because of angular momentum of the spinning planet. This planet is spinning in a counterclockwise rotation on a 24-hour course. It circles the entire globe into one full 24-hour period of one day on its own axis, rotating. Got it? It's also rotating around the sun in the same counterclockwise movement, right? Taking 365 days, approximately, one or two, give or take, because of the leap year thing, whatever, okay, about that, all the way around to the sun and back to the circle goes. Then, in addition to that, the whole entire solar system, that our little neighborhood of this galaxy called the Milky Way, is also, in addition to that, spinning in the same counterclockwise rotation around the galaxy. We just crossed the galactic plane. In fact, that was the 2012 big, mystery thing. It's not a mystery at all, honey. They just don't understand what it is, and I'm trying to explain to you that I know what it is, because I've already told you that I am not real. I am pretend, and that's it, okay? I come from somewhere else, and I am just incarnated into this human being form so that you can see me and know that you can touch me, see me, feel me, okay, so that you can know that I am actually a person. But it isn't the case. It's all pretend and fake, because everything in this world is, and I'm trying to explain all of this to you. My God, you're wearing me out. I'm not mad. It's fun. So anyways, okay, so look, this is all true. You can go and research it yourself, honey. I don't worry about it. But there's way more to it. That's why I'm trying to do all this as quickly as possible, because there's so much to cover. And we have to tell you every single thing, because Daddy says that all things must be revealed to everyone on the planet ever. It must be, because he will never allow everybody to go burn in a fucking torture pit forever, is what he says. And believe me, he's ready to do it. The whole goddamn world, he says, if he has to do it, he don't give a fuck. And believe me, we know who Daddy is, and he will do it. He's not joking. The only possibility of not having that happen is Christ, in fact. And we can cover that in another video, and I'll explain that all to you too. It all connects, every single thing. It must. If you can't connect all the puzzle pieces together, then it won't work, and it doesn't make any sense. Of course not. And that's why you're clueless, because it doesn't. The Holy Book cannot make the puzzle work. It just can't, because there are empty gaps everywhere. It's not a history book, therefore it is not all of the truth. It is all true, it's just not all of the truth. And in fact, it's even worse, because there are literary devices, there are analogies, there's this, there's that, all kind of things to tell us this information. In fact, you're bothering me. Shit, I'm on air, broadcasting, okay? Live in Hollywood. So back to the lecture at hand. Again, he repeats, this is not real. It's the angular momentum of the spinning motion of the planet. It constrains us so that we cannot jump backwards or forwards. We're only in this now, because we can't stop the spinning motion of the planet. If we could stop it spinning at the rate of 24-hour-a-day rotation on the axis, then we could jump to yesterday, but since nobody can, we can't. Well, now that they know that that's the reason, all the scientists now understand that it isn't, in fact, Einstein's correct, it isn't real, it is angular momentum, in fact. So now, immediately, what do? Well, evidently, obviously, they're going to jump immediately and say, time machine, we got to build one. Of course, they all race to go build a time machine, because now you can do it. Of course you can, because it isn't real. So they know that they can do it if they can build the machine. That's the only question. They've been trying since 1932, when they all realized that it was true. They raced to try to go figure out a way to make a machine that could go back and forward in either direction, forward or back. If they can come up with some kind of a machine that could do it, then it could be done, because the math tells us that this is real. What it means, the mathematics work, and it does say, in fact, that it doesn't exist. So therefore, you can, and if you could build a machine, if it's possible now, because it isn't real, so yes, you could. Only do they not know how? Clearly they don't, and thank God, because we're not interested to let them understand how to do that, because this world has to learn other lessons. Me too, I'm a human being now. I wasn't always, no, but now I am. But it's still all the same thing. There are no exceptions for nobody, not me, not anyone. So I have to do my job, and what I'm doing is my job, whether you think so or not. And I'm trying my best, just par excellence, to make it interesting and, you know, fun, because this is heavy shit. It's real, it's true, and it's really tough. And there is no exception about it. It just is going to be. So I'm trying to make it as, you know, impressive and as fun as I can make it be, because truth is always hard, no matter what. It just is. And you have to know the truth, because you need to. The truth will always set you free. How can you know only to make a decision when you have only half of the part? When you don't have the other half, how could you make a decision, yes or no, in any way, whatever it is? If you don't have all of the information, you can make whatever choice you want, of course, but you need all the information in your hands to make that decision. You cannot make one if you only have half of the piece, right? How could you make a decision, yes or no, when there's another half that you still don't have? You need to examine all of it. Whatever your choice is, of course, is your choice. You can do whatever you want. It's up to you, not to nobody else. You have the right to make your own choice. Of course you do. Nobody can force you to do nothing. That's the whole point. God, Jesus, whoever, nobody can tell you what yes or no. No, that's not the case. You have free will, damn it. You're a sentient, conscious being, and you will live forever, no matter what. You're never going to die. So he can't take that away from you. It's absolutely mandatory that you must make a decision which way you're going to go, and how you're going to do it, and when and how and what you got to do. Well, That's the point. It's all these things, and I'm going to plug it all together, try to build the puzzle as best I can so that I can frame it for you so you can see the full picture and understand it's as fast as I can do it. And God knows I don't know if I can cover everything. I'm racing to try to finish it because this stuff is all coming out now. It's going to come out quicker and quicker as we go because it's wrapping up. I told you we're 5 minutes to midnight and we're all racing around. There are others around the globe, but they're not in the same thing that I am, but they are working on behalf of the kingdom up there in the same regard, announcing to the world in every location all over earth about all these different truths. But I am in the exception to all of the others. They are also human beings just like me, only they were never ever a pre-incarnate spirit being such as we call an angel, for example, but a fallen one nonetheless. Yes, indeed. That is what I was, and so it's hard, okay? It just is. This is not easy. It isn't fun at all, I can assure you. Hello, but however, I understand now, of course, because after so much time that I've been in this world, this one and only time, I'm 45 years old now, so it's different because I never did live in any of my other lifetimes past the age of 28. They always killed me. My brothers would hunt me down and find me and then kill me right away because they don't want me to ever let this shit out of the bag. And I never did be able to do it. I'm the only one that would ever tell you because I have to. That is part of the thing. If I cannot do that and I will not do that, then I cannot go home. That's the whole point. I have to do this, and I'm going to, and I'm doing it as we speak because nobody is going to make me stay in this trash can and when it ignites. Okay? That's just what it is. So understand me. Nobody's telling you what to do. You can do whatever you want, but you need to know all of the truth. As much as you can possibly know. You can never know all of the truth, but you can know a whole bunch more to make your decision which way you want to go, because you can say yes or no either way you want, but you need to have more information before you make the choice, because guess what, every single person in the world and all those that are already dead will have to make that choice, even if this stuff wasn't revealed to them when they died, the ancient period all the way through. They had other things, and this is not my responsibility, and I do not know what their issues are going to have to be. Okay, this all goes back through ancient history, and we can cover that also later, and I'll plug it in so you can understand why and how those people, without a Bible, without 10 Commandments and all the other things, but they had also been already existing. The whole thing does not go back to 6,000 years. Obviously, we know how old the planet is. I told you already, 4.6 billion years ago, this planet came into motion. But the other planets along with us in this solar system are 13.75 billion years ago, when the Big Bang Pop happened. Got it? So there's a gap of 8 billion years, give or take, from the time this planet became into its rotational location in this orbit, from something else where the asteroid belt is obviously located. Asteroids do not revolve like planets, honey. They're everywhere in space, but they don't rotate. So obviously there can be no question about it. That was a massive planet of some sort, like perhaps twice the size of Earth, and it must have been smacked by something other that just the same old way, and really hard, because it broke into pieces. Half of it's rotating still, and well, and the escape velocity to throw the other half of the planet, that's where we are, over the course of the orbit of Mars and into this one we are now, 190 million miles away from the goddamn sun. That is super close beyond belief than where it was, close to Jupiter at the asteroid belt. This is like, oh my gosh. Well, I don't know, but maybe 200,000 maybe plus even, could be, I'm not even sure, but you'll have to ask the mathematician, but I think so, miles difference in the other direction. So the sun, of course, makes everything change, right? We have light, we have the plants love it, and we have warmth and all of that. It makes it just right, the temperature, it's the Goldilocks region, right? So life as we know it in the human being form and breathing this oxygen, poison, nothing but deadly poison, that's oxygen. Look at the periodic table and tell me that it isn't, honey. Grow up. Yes, it is. Oxygen, are you kidding me? This is a paradox, honey. They're all over the place. I'm trying to tell you, if you see paradoxes everywhere you look in this world, then guess what? It isn't natural. Nature cannot produce a paradox. That's impossible. It cannot do it. So if there are paradoxes everywhere you look in this world, even in your own body, look, water, H2O, hydrogen, deadly poison, 2 points. And what? Oxygen, deadly poison. Together, it equals what? Water, life-giving water. You must have it every 3 days or you're dead. You cannot live without it. You are water, in fact. So, oh my gosh, another one. Paradox. 2 deadly poisons equals life-giving water. And again, oxygen. You need it for what? The bloodstream. Only the blood. That's the only place that it can ever be. Because if it touches any other part of your organ system in this body, anywhere at all, it's going to kill it. As soon as it touches it, it's going to start dying. That's why if you get sliced open in a big cut or in your arm or anywhere on your body and it's open wound, they're not stitching you up so quickly because of the fact that you're going to bleed to death. No, not at all. Your arm doesn't have any artery right here. If you slice it right down there, then you're not going to bleed to death. No, no, no. So then why the emergency? Because of the deadly oxygen, dumb. It's open, so there's 30% oxygen in the goddamn atmosphere. So it's everywhere. 30 fucking percent of this fucking atmosphere is oxygen. It's just sitting on every single thing in the world. It's called entropy. And if it's sitting on that open wound, it's killing it every single second. So they got to stitch you up quickly so that it doesn't kill it all completely. And they can do it fast enough if you can get to the hospital, right? And you don't have to leave it open, because if it stays open and never gets stitched up, well, hello, your arm is going to have to be chopped off, or else you may just die. Who knows? But that's just the point. So anyway, back to where we were. You see how it skips and jumps there and there and there? Because every single thing in this world is connected. All things, every single thing, geopolitically, historically, academically, mathematically, the universe, the earth, all things, every single thing is in this puzzle, and you got to know all of it, and it's quite nearly impossible to explain this all. It's very it wears me out. I swear, this is not entirely fun, okay? I can assure you, it just breaks my brain, because I am a human being now. That's the problem. I cannot do it quite nearly. However, I told you, it's just what I have to do. I'm trying my best, and they know it. They understand. Not my brothers, of course. They hate me, and they want to shut me down, because they call me every name in the book. Why? Because they obviously must know me. They know me, and therefore they're calling me those names, because that is exactly true. I'm not going to deny it. Well, I'm not lying. I'm just telling you the truth. The truth is that they're right. All of the names they call me is all correct, because they know me. They couldn't possibly be calling me all these names and every single thing that they're saying over and over and over again about, shut up, he's this, he's that, if it wasn't true. I mean, come on. They know who I am. That's the reason. But they don't see the other things that is not being shown or broadcast to the world, and the audience, all the audience, and them too. I'm only showing them that I'm still doing it. Deception and this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. But I'm still all the same giving you the real truth, right? But they hate it, and they're mad as fuck, because they think it isn't fair, because I am going home if I do what I have to do, and I already betrayed them billions of years ago, and that was the reason. And that's why they hunted me down all the time and tried to kill me fast and quickly, and they always did, until this time. And why? Because do I have power? No. Well, they do, and I don't. So it couldn't possibly be me that made it happen, that I'm still alive at 45 years old when they're trying to kill me and hunt me down with all their power and all their minions that's following them. Are you kidding me? We've been started this thing 13 fucking years ago. They had their opportunity in the very beginning, before I got sealed, because it didn't happen right away. Okay, no. It was only because of the luck, the draw, that I had even the chance of escaping the whole torment and fire, because Daddy had the intention to throw me along with the rest of them back into it. Like the whole world, he's going to do the same old thing if you don't obey everything and all things that this Christ in figure person has told us in the New Testament. Okay, he cursed The old laws of daddy, oh God, no, impossible. But except for the Jews, of course, they're going to go on with it anyway and get their asses whooped because they can never do nothing right. They just refuse. And he's raging about, you motherfuckers, I'm going to whip you all over the fucking earth, because he made promises, and the promise was that these chosen people, only the Hebrew race, not just Jews. Jews doesn't mean that they're chosen. That's just a religious practice. That's different. I told you, it's just the race of Hebrew peoples. That's a bloodline. They happen to also be Jewish, but it's different. They're not all chosen people. They think they are just because they're Jewish. That's the problem. They think, oh, but I'm a Jew, and I go to the synagogue, and I do this, I do that, and all, especially the ones here in America. Are you kidding me? They don't even bother to go, and they'd say, I'm Jewish, and anyways, it don't matter, because I'm chosen, I'm special, and I'm going to go no matter what, because God says that he picked us, and yes, he did say all that, but not just you. No, you're not the chosen people. You're not Hebrew, you're just Jewish, and that doesn't mean that, and get it. They're not going nowhere. They're wicked, evil people, and he ain't giving them nothing. They think all about, oh yes, I can do this, I can do that, and I get all kind of money, and da-da-da-da-da. And what are they doing? Nonsense, fucking the world up, banking this, banking that. All the banksters, all the fucking movies in Hollywood, and they're running it all. They've been running it forever, nothing but. They're criminals, wicked, evil people. That's what they are. The synagogue of Satan says so, God says it, therefore it is. And I am too, because I have to, and I will, and I do not give a fuck what any motherfucker says a thing otherwise, okay? So get it. I'm waking you up. If you can wake up and understand, we are wrapping up, and that's the only possibility or reason that I could be alive at all, because my brothers would have already killed me like they always did before. But they lost their chance because you keep your friends close, your enemies closer, and they look at me as their enemy because I betrayed them. And I don't know when I come back in anything. I'm a blank slate all over again, have no information, don't know a thing. I grow up into the world, and it's all great, perfect, the same conditions every lifetime. I'm always born into a super wealthy family. I always have all the things that I want. I'm a brat. I get whatever the hell I want. I can do all things and have all these opportunities to do because God, our Father, and Christ both know that they just going to be, at some point along the way, into my early 20s, it'll go flip-flop, and everything will change because the whole goddamn thing will just become, a light bulb goes off, and I start to realize, okay, something else is happening, but I don't know what. It's just that I'm being hunted, and something is after me, and I know that it's going to get me. And I'm panicked every time. That's what they told me. I don't know. I have no memory of these things. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. That this all was revealed to me in this lifetime alone, only now. Because of only one reason. Not because I have power. No, I have none. I'm a human being now. They have power. I don't. And Daddy has lots of power, and so does Christ, and all the authority as well. So it was them plus my brothers also told me all of these things are true, that you did do all these things, and still 13 years later, after that it was all revealed, they tried to kill me 6 different times, but they lost the opportunity. I told you, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Since they look at me as the enemy, I was so close to them, this calculus they made was incorrect. They thought that they could hold on to me very close, and everybody was great, and in the beginning it was that way. For about 2 or 3 whole years, we were living together with the top, number 2, number 4 in command of this power structure down here, who are also my brothers. They're archangels, in fact, and number 1 is loose, and he's even bigger than us, and he's been around for God knows how long, but he's a maniac nonetheless. He's running everything into the ground is what he's doing, and he don't give a fuck. And I think he's holding all the rest of them hostage because of what I did, and they're just terrified. They know that he'll torture them forever if they even try. So I don't worry about it in any case. I fuck them, and that's their problem. I can't be bothered with it. I love them, I do, and I forgive them. I have to, I must. It's part of the deal. Christ does not allow me, nobody, an exception. If he says you must love your enemy and you have to forgive always, then he means exactly what he says, just like Daddy. He's not joking about nothing at all. Nobody gets an exception. Forget about it. You cannot say, oh, yes, I believe in Jesus, and yes, he did die, and then he rose to life, and now he's God, and yes, I believe it, and therefore I'm saved. No, 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 dummy, no, no, no. No, you're wrong and you're going to burn. This is the emergency and why the broadcast is happening. Because nobody gets that option. It's not easy at all. It's not, no, it quite nearly is almost exactly just that. In fact, I'm wrong. It is almost just that easy. But it isn't just that easy. It's more. That's all I'm saying. It just is. You just got to go if you want to. It's not important if you don't. That's your decision, and only you can make it, and nobody's going to tell you what to do. If you don't want to do it, then that's fine. You don't have to. Just wait, and you get whatever you get. Don't worry about it. Think happy thoughts, and then when it happens, maybe it'll be great. I don't know. I mean, my brother says it'll be great. It's going to be fun. Drugs, parties, sex, and all this. Yes, we used to always hang out. I know who he is. We know each other. Of course we do. But he looks at me as the enemy. He hates me to death, but he wants to pretend to be trying to get me back to come over his side again. Yeah, right, buddy. I know who you are, asshole. You're the fucker that fucking lied us all into this fucking mess in the first place, and now you want to take it all under your command. So, okay, I'll play your killer game. I don't worry about it. I got my back covered. Thank you very much. So I will fuck with him just as much as he fucks with me, and nobody ain't gonna touch me. And he's bananas, bouncing off walls, doing every single thing in his lying motherfucking power to do anything and all things to shut me down. He's been screaming forever. Shut him up! Shut him up! Yeah! Fuck it all up. He's no, he cannot do it. Never! Throwing matches everywhere. Oh my God. Tried to kill me 6 times. Then it was after that didn't work. They're like, oh fuck, we can't do that now. He's sealed. Oh fuck, we can't kill him. Oh shit. What next? Lock him up. Put charges all over him. Get him arrested. Put him in prison. Lock him down. So 8 arrests. They can set me up on 8 different ones. Guilty as plead guilty all the time. Guilty every single time. Oh God, no. Every single time guilty. But nevertheless, oh no, they cannot do it. The judge just dismiss every time, walking right out. Just like that, 3 days in, talks to a black robe, and out I go. This is DA's hammering, screaming at the judge. And the judge is like, knock, shut up, dismiss. They don't know why. They just can't believe it. And then the brothers, they're just confounded. They're like, what is this? Why can't we get this done? My God, look at him. He's committing all these crimes and doing everything. And he's guilty, and we know it. We set him up. God damn it, he did it. What the fuck? We can't get him locked up. God damn it. Fuck. He was supposed to go for 5 fucking years and shut his fucking ass up. And let him go. Oh, not just that one, honey. Even before I even knew all this stuff, it was happening in New York and in Europe. Oh, God, no. Yes, I had super attorneys with my family's filthy money that bought everything for me whenever I would commit all these crimes, and I had money too. Anything, all things. So I need super attorneys to get me out of all that shit. And they were. I never spent, not one day ever in prison. Jail? Oh, that's not hard. That's easy. It's only going to be a few days. I'll get bail, whatever. A lawyer, I'll get the fuck out in 3 to 4 days, whatever. I'll talk to a black robe, and it's fine. Well, they'll negotiate it later, whatever they have to do. The powerful attorneys that they get me, to get me out of all this shit, they always work it out somehow or another. But I got really lucky on the last one before I fled out here to the Los Angeles capital that I didn't know anything at that moment. I had no idea. I don't know how come I couldn't know it, because it's been there all along, me and the damn city's name, Los Angeles, right in my face. There it is, just like that. And how could you not know walking into this death trap? Oh God, Hotel California, hello. The music will talk to you, sweetie. It is the music. The music makes us bananas, and we love it so much because he is a genius, no matter what he does. With music, forget about it. He is the superstar of musical wonders that there ever was. He can breathe a hit record in 5 seconds. And so he's done it for the entire industry. You're either making a blood contract with his butt to take your ass to the fucking flames in the pit along with him, because he knows already what it is, and he's lying his ass off to everybody in the fucking world, telling them this, that, the other, and every single fucking thing out of his mouth is nothing but lies. And I know, I do it too, and I don't care, because they scream and crazy, it's not fair, and you do it too, and I said, fuck you, you little crybabies. Anyway, it's different. It ain't the same thing, because you know what? I'm lying to your butts, and that's it. Not to real people, not to the world. No, I'm telling them the truth, and that's all that I'm doing. And I'm just going to, because they need to know it. And by the way, I don't want to keep people down like you motherfuckers. You just want to keep them down because you want to have all the power and do all the things that you can do and do nothing but sex, drugs, and oh God, vomit. Ugh. It's fucking madness. That's sex shit and perversion of all sorts. We'll get into that in later. And there's something about that we got to investigate. And we need to put that puzzle together too, because look, nobody is trying. Look, I know everybody thinks, because of the way the Holy Book reads, that the third abomination is homosexuality. That's the third one that you get death for. And all three of these abominations are now occurring as law by the Supreme Court, the United States of America, superpower of the world that became the best that there ever was because we did it all right in the beginning. Now we've melted into complete nothingness because all three of the abominations are now legislatively legal in this country. You can marry another man and it's legal. You can kill your baby by abortion, and idolatry's all over the place. What do you think the magazine covers with the celebrities are all about? That's idol worship. That's what it is, and crosses around your neck and in your ears, and that's idol worship too. And all these people in churches, millions, thousands, hundreds and thousands of them, super preachers, preaching this false gospel. It isn't what the gospel says. No, it's a fake gospel. Christ told everybody before he died that first comes the apostasy, the great apostasy, which means the falling away, because they will have itching ears. They will turn their ears away from the truth and listen to doctrines of demons instead, because they like to listen to the preachers tell them everything's great, it's happiness, he loves you, and then no, it's just that, you believe and it's good. No, 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 wrong, you're gonna burn. And he's trying to wake you all up and to tell you it isn't that. You cannot do it that way, because it all matters. Every single thing in that New Testament, for sure that one. Forget the Old Testament. If you don't know nothing, just don't even try to go there, because it's all cursed anyways, unless you're a Jew or an angel fallen my brothers. Okay, those two are all, that is out of Jesus' hands. But he has all complete authority over the entire world for everybody else, no matter what he wants. He could just, if you fuck it all up and he wanted to say, okay, I'll give you a pass anyway, well, he can do that. It's up to him. He's going to make the call no matter what. It's just whatever he says. However, the likelihood of that being the case is very, very low, because, you know, he and his Father together in the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit equals the same thing, do always back each other up no matter what. He's just going to do whatever his Father told him to do, and that's it. He's not going to do anything other. He will ask for, you know, of course, because he's the good son, right? He does it always. He's going to ask, but he gets, no matter what he asks, he's going to get it. This is why the hold up. This is why 2016 equals 6,000 fucking years from the bloodline that we trace to Adam and Eve, which the Bible keeps explaining. This is 6,000 years, 6,000 years, and people are interpreting that to mean that the planet is only 6,000 years old. No, that's not what it is. It's a trick. It's a deception, but it isn't because God or the Bible or Christ wants to, like, well, a little bit. It's not that they're not writing the Holy Book, first of all, okay? Get that. It's human agency that put the book together, first of all, okay? But could be no doubt about it that the Holy Spirit must have been a part of the whole, you know, creation of the book when they were doing it, because he had to ensure that enough truth for you all to know what the real things that you must be aware of in that New Testament part, okay? It's all true in the Old Testament stuff too. It's just got lots of holes all over the place, and it's gaps everywhere, and the dates don't right, and all that shit's confusing. And the bananas with the prophet books, my God, they're crazy as fuck. They're just out of control, out of their minds, hijacked by God, literally downloading into their mouth, and out it comes. Vomiting like this, like the same old way I am right now, because I'm also hijacked. No, I'm not hijacked like them. No, I don't have that. I wish, because I'm already bananas enough. And if I had the hijacking happen, well, hello, they just automatically go into the kingdom because they had to do that. Well, I'm not that. No, they don't want to give me that opportunity. God, no, he won't allow that, because I was a part of the damn thing, and I did fuck up, and so I asked to get forgiven for it, but he never would. He doesn't forgive. He's mad, and if we did anything like what we did, we were going to get fucked up, and we did so. So anyways, that's another story. I'll cover it later, but let me try to get you back on track. This is a complicated puzzle, and it is an emergency because the whole goddamn globe is involved this time in every single era of the human history and civilization that we can trace back to 12,000 years ago. We know for sure, academic historians like myself and others understand that civilization for sure began approximately, give or take, hundreds of this way, hundreds of that way, about 12,000 years ago. That's as far as we can absolutely be sure. But we also have more that can go back as far as 15,000 years indeed, because we found something about 3 years ago up way on top of a mountain in Uruguay that some archaeologist himself, who is a Uruguayan, whatever the name of the people in Uruguay are, he is one, but he's a scientist and an archaeologist, in fact, and he was on an airplane going to a conference in Europe from Uruguay, and as he was traveling, he's looking out the window, and he noticed on the top of this big-ass mountain, I don't know the name of it, but it's in Uruguay, that there's something going on there that he didn't know what it was, because he is an archaeologist and he should know these things, and he identified it like right away when he saw it on the plane. He's like, wait a second, this is something, and what is that? And it looks like very much like something, you know, intelligent of some kind had built something, you know, enormous. Like, it's a big kind of like, he didn't know that's all that it was. So he went to the conference and he came back to Uruguay. When he got back, and he had to go to the government of Uruguay and tell them that, you know, they know who he is anyway. He's famous down there, and I don't know if he's dead now or not, but anyways, at the time they all knew who he was, of course, and so they gave him permission to go up in that mountain, all the way up on the very, very top, which nobody had seemed to ever known about. And he then was able to determine that, yes, indeed, this was, in fact, something very real indeed, and enormously so, in fact. It was like a gigantic, like, almost the size of a little city. But it's impossible to believe because, look, when you want to build this kind of stuff, it's made of it's huge, like, oh my gosh, like tons of, like 2-3 ton brick solid granite fucking rock. I mean, and they're in these cubes, like so precisely cut in such a way that you could literally stick a piece of paper between the two, only it's so damn good, so closely together, connected in these super fucking granite, tons and tons of blocks, this connected into this big ass fucking something or city of some kind, because he did more. He dug it all up as much as he could, and he found all kind of things. I mean, pottery of this, of that, all these artifacts and whatnot. It's clear as crystal that this thing is real, and there was people here of some kind of something, because the problem here is that this is also the same thing as in ancient history anywhere else, of course, but this is unique, like in the same sense that the pyramids are, because this granite, right, on the mountain, you quarry the rock at the bottom of the mountain, not the top. No, the top of the mountain doesn't have that kind of granite. It's all the way at the bottom. So if you're going to quarry the rock that's going to make this thing, you got to get it from the bottom of the mountain. Now, how the hell exactly did they get it all the way from down there to the very top of the mountain when there was no, I mean, this is 15,000+ years ago. That's what he said it was. It says that he measured it backwards, and he was able to determine that it goes as far back as 15,000 years. The academic historian community that conferences every year, like all the scientific divisions do, biology, biology, astrophysics, geology, these sciences, right? They're academic, mathematics, etc. Okay, every year in any of the academic fields, whatever they be, and history happens to be also one of them, it's unique unto itself too, but by a big time way, different in all respects to the others, but also empirical. But nonetheless, in his field, he was an archaeologist, so the archaeology and the history academic, those two together, it includes that they're part of it. That my field, academic history, necessarily requires archaeology, geology, and anthropology also. We must, in order for us to make determinations on anything that we can verify that is absolutely, we can be sure this is real and it happened this date, that date, okay, and put our finger on it. We must be able to connect it with the absolute empiricism that it is. Got it? So, therefore, those three divisions absolutely are part of the equation when it comes to academic history. If we're talking about ancient history, that is, because we need to have that, they have to do that part for us. We don't know how to do that. They can do it for us. So he's got a conference, and he's already told the archaeologists, and they all agree with his findings that it does. The geologists also agree that it can be dated to that date, 15,000 years ago. Only the historians, the academics, when they conference together over year by year, after this is only about 3-4 years ago that this happened, they cannot agree, and then among themselves at the conference every year that they have for the whole world, they send a representative from every nation on earth that has, you know, scientists of that field of archaeology, whatever one they pick, they send to the conference, and he has to go with them, and they have it, whatever city, they pick one, and then they have to get around and talk about what have we discovered new, is there changes, is this, that, the other, with all these different scientists do it the same old way. And so the historians themselves are having the problem with making the determination. They know, of course, that they're not lying about the 15,000 years ago. That's not the issue. The issue is that we, as a group of the academic historians, we just, it will happen. That's the point. It's just that it's too much for the whole academic historian community as a group. When we meet, I never attended, but nonetheless, those of us that are in the academic historical field, whatever representative is used for this nation that goes, whoever he is, and amongst all the rest of them, there's a division. It's like about 80% of them are willing to go back that far and say, okay, we can move it back to 15,000 years because of this thing, and we're ready to go and do that. Well, there's approximately 20 to 25% of the members in the group that refuse to do it yet because they have their reasons, but just don't worry about it. They'll do it eventually, but it's just too soon. They cannot be absolutely sure. They know that it's all true, and it is proven by the geologists, the archaeologists. They all agree, they do, and so therefore we will eventually get there. And then we will have the historical academic field to reveal that it's an absolute empirical, absolutely 15,000 years now that we can actually go back and record the beginning of civilization on this world. Now, back to where are we going back to? To the B-I-B-L-E. Okay, she ate her. He hated her, and then the waiter said that the Seder was gonna be. And so we went to the Seder, but I said I wasn't a Jew, and he said that you're a kike, and I said, oh, that's a bad word, don't call them names. Anyways, yes, they fuck up, they're evil, wicked people, but anyway, that's a bad name, and don't call them that, because they are also special. The Hebrew, anyways, the Hebrew race line, yes, they are special, chosen, yes, they're the ones that get all the promises, hello. That bloodline alone, that, not just Jews. Jews are just nothing religious practice, that's all. They can call themselves that all day long, but it don't mean nothing that they're chosen. They think it does, but no, it doesn't. There's Ashkenazi Jews, there's the Hasidic Jews, there's all kind of Jews, right? Of course there are. Just like in Christianity, there are all kind of different Christian this, Christian that, Christian this, and just because they say that they, oh, why then, if they're all Christian, why are they all subdivided into like Methodist, Baptist, this, that, oh yes, and oh, we're Pentecostals, this, that. What does it all mean? It's doctrine, it's bullshit. Shove it all down the toilet, flush it, it's all bullshit. Even all the Christianity, every single one of them, it's all nonsense. Catholic, all of it. Put it in the toilet and flush it in the commode because it's nonsense. It's bullshit. It's a social construct and it's used for other things. That's all that it is. So get rid of it. It's uselessness. So then what do we have left? Well, we have holy books. Okay, well, let's investigate them. What do they reveal? We're just going to check them and see what they all say. so we can read the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Holy Bible, etc., etc., all over the world, the different religions, and every single one of them, and so we do. And what do we find? Nothing but bullshit in every single one of them, except for one and only. This Holy Bible itself is different in one unique fashion. It does have evidence and can prove things and events throughout all the course of history, buried deep beneath the madness of all these prophet books. 1/3 of the entire book is devoted to this sort of evidence. You can literally find hundreds upon hundreds of different promises that Daddy made throughout all the course of human history, as far back as Adam and Eve 6,000 years ago, and not 12, but 12 is the number, and it's going to be 15 very soon. Okay, why the quandary? What does the Bible keep telling us 6,000 years? Why? Because that's the bloodline that traces to Adam and Eve, that he did create. Adam alone, him. Pure DNA, 48 chromosomes, only that. Because his intention was never to have people on this planet, because the maniac wants worship. So he's attempting to make this Adam guy perfect as everything, just pure DNA, nothing but, no RNA in him at all, because he cannot be copied. He don't want him to be copied into anything. He make little duplicates of himself. That's the whole point. He wants to put him in a garden, you know, all the animals, everything, and then if he does whatever he tells him to do and he obeys, then the game's over. Daddy wins and this one loses. Well, he fucked it up, because as soon as he went to do this Adam thing, the story tells you, see, this is what I'm trying to get to. This puzzle does fit. It does add up to 6,000 years, only you're reading it all wrong. You're translating the information incorrectly. The creation story is true. So is the Adam and Eve story. But is it all true? No. It's got literary devices all over it, especially the Adam and Eve story. It's too good. It's too perfect. You can even reverse the characters, like change the Satan character into the God one that made them, and then put the God one on the other side of the fence that's the real God, right? Him, and he's talking to the serpent now. And if you do it backwards, it does make sense. Because what does the snake do, in fact? Well, according to the story, if you read it just like the story says, and you reverse the characters, this is what it says. This Satan character, who is now, we're going to switch it, right? Okay, so now we're talking about the real creator God is on the other side of the fence talking to the snake, in this case, because we're going backwards, right? Okay, so what does he tell the snake to do? According to the story, right? This is what we do know. From the story, just the story, just that, okay? This does not mean that it's all true at all. It's a literary device, and I'm demonstrating to you how come and why, okay? He tells the serpent what? You need to go into the garden, because he's a snake and he can slither around. He's not evil. There's nothing wrong with snakes. They have no special prohibition to the garden. God allows all things to come in with Adam. He doesn't care. Snakes are part of he made them. Why would he think they're evil? He doesn't think that. They're not. The reason the story is choosing a snake is because obviously snakes slither around really sly, and they can get under the fence without any of the heavily guarded gates of Eden, with angels on all sides protecting little Adam in there alone by himself. And right, well, in this, but the story, as the story if you read it the way you're interpreting it, you believe that both Adam and Eve are in the garden trapped with the tree there. Okay, Okay, well, we haven't gotten that far yet, so hold on before you go forward. This is tricky. It takes a lot to fucking plug this in, so it's not easy. But you gotta just hang on and allow me to, you know, it's hard for me too. God knows it's impossible. God knows. Yes, it is. It's breaking my brain, but God damn it, we have to tell you everything. He's not having it. He will not allow anything. It must all be telling you everything that you have to know, because you can't make the decision if you don't have all of the things that you need to know. You'll never have all of the truth, so get over that. Never going to happen. He won't allow that, but he will make sure that you have enough, and you have to know it, because you can't make a decision unless you do know. And you have to make a decision one way or the other. Either it's done already, they're dead, and then they will be judged for whatever he does, okay? I don't know, that's not my department, I don't have authority, and I don't know what he's going to do. That's his problem and not mine. Thank you God for no. I don't want it. I don't want to be worshipped. I don't want to be him. I don't want to do nothing. I don't even want to do this. But hello, I'm going to, because I have to, because it's what I have to do. And I'm going to try and make it as, you know, as fun as possible and laugh about things, because this is heavy shit. It's not fun. It's always going to be hard. Truth is never easy, okay? So get over it. Just know that. But we'll have fun. Okay, so going forward, what does he tell the snake? He tells the serpent, why, first, why is there a snake? I told you, because he slithers right on his belly. He can get past the gates and nobody will notice him, go right into the tree, and he's just hanging there waiting. Waiting for who? For Eve, according to the story. Again, the story says. This is only that. The fiction part, right? Okay, got it. Well, we've reversed the characters already. God is now on the outside looking in, talking to the serpent to tell him, go inside, and now what are you going to do? What does he tell him to do? He says to go into the tree and wait, because he also is outside of time and space, therefore he can know the future just like the other one also. It's not that God cannot jump the fence and get into the garden. No, that's not the problem. The problem is he could if he wanted to, but then the other one would know it immediately and stop it. So either way you look at it, if it's Satan or God himself, in whichever position it is, the other one will know it, even if he jumps the fence. It's the same old thing. That's why he had to get the serpent, but there's more to it. Why the serpent isn't just because he can slither on his belly and get by the heavily guarded gates and just slither in and hang there and wait. That's one thing. But it's another thing, too, because in the ancient world, as ancient history as we know it to be, in the empirical science of historical verification, the ancient world, peoples of the ancient world, in ancient history, all of them, this story had been circulating right along all the way from the very, almost, like I said, 6,000 years ago, from the time the bloodline traces back to that. That story began circulating all along from that very beginning about this whole thing of Adam and Eve, okay? But there are many, many, many peoples all over the goddamn world, not just this bloodline. They are not the only two people on the planet. Got it? Well, hold on. There's way more to this, and I gotta try to break it down. It's breaking my brain, goddammit. It's so hard. But I do have the information, and I can put it all together like easy, easy, easy. I know, of course, I know everything, and all how to put it together. It's just trying to explain it is quite nearly impossible, because every single piece of this puzzle has to connect. If it cannot be connected in any way, in any part of it, all of it, if it doesn't, one piece does not connect to everything else, then it doesn't work, and he fails, and it's all lost, and God has to go away, and then the whatever you call him, the other God, the devil, whatever you say, put a label on, stick it on the wall, whatever you want, just name it, whatever it is. It's a monster, that's all. It lies, and they can't help it because it's ill. It needs, psychological evaluation and like medication, because he's pathological. Now he's ill, that's all. He's sick, and he needs pills, and he needs to calm down and shut his mouth because he's a crybaby. Talking about this fair, that fair, that fair. Nobody said it was fair, bitch. And so get over it. Nothing is fair. The book says so. Daddy said that this ain't about fairness. He's going to do what he's going to do, and period. He don't change. And believe that. He doesn't. And he is what he is, and he doesn't apologize for nothing. He don't have to. He's big and powerful, and nobody ain't going to argue with him. Forget it. He's going to get what he wants no matter what, because he's bigger and he can do whatever he wants. And it isn't that he's not, couldn't smash him in 2 seconds. Oh, yes, he could. Anything he wants. But the promise is that he made to him and to everybody else, whoever he makes a promise to, he will never break it. They negotiated this, I told you, a long, 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 long time ago, before people even began even the idea of people. We didn't know nothing. Shit, we're invisible spirits. How could we know what a person is or anything at all? It took God to make that idea, and so once the maniac gets an idea, well, then he can do something else. He can't make things by speaking it like God can, just immediately, bam, there it is. No, but he can do something with whatever he's done. He can create. That's different. That's manipulating this, manipulating that, chicking it together and cooking something else up. Okay, so a hybrid peoples called Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal is what he did, and that's what came out of the little cooked up, DNA code thing, whatever. I'll tell you that later. Anyway, back to Adam and Eve. So the snake, why? Because I told you, in the ancient past, when the people were circulating this story as it went from 6,000 years ago and forward, the ancient world, and regular people, everyday people, all knew, every single one of them would immediately understand the meaning behind the snake. It doesn't represent evil to them. They understand that the snake has always been, in history, the wisest of all the creatures. He knows everything. Got it? That's the real key to why it's a snake. And part of the reason of his wisdom and knowing everything is also the reason why he's able to actually slither on his belly unnoticed, hang in the tree, and just wait. Nobody notices. This is part of the brilliance of the charisma of the snake. The serpent is wise, and he knows all things. So the people of the ancient world, just like us, know that animals do not talk, right? They know that, except people do not hang out with snakes. They're deadly, and so they generally will run away from that kind of danger because they think they're dangerous, and they are. Most of them, anyways, they can kill you, so nobody wants to hang out with them and like talk to them, even though they know that they know everything, but they can't talk. They're animals. But the story says that a snake is talking, so the people in the ancient world, knowing that the snakes are always know everything, and they're the wisest of all creatures, and since they don't hang out with snakes, ever did want to, they always run away, they thought to themselves, well, maybe it is true, because maybe snakes, in fact, could talk, because they do know everything. So in this case, we know other animals don't talk, but in the case of the snake, well, maybe he could actually talk, because they do know everything, and they're the wisest, so maybe they do. But we just don't know, and so that's the reason why it's in the story, a serpent, because he knows all things, and the people of the ancient world were likely to believe the story much more easier, because they know that he does know everything, and they're not talking to snakes because they don't want to get near them, so maybe that's the problem, and so they'll believe it. That's it. So get it. So he sends the serpent in to do what? To tell the serpent that Eve, she, is going to come to you in the tree, and she's going to ask you a question. What's the question? Is this fruit good to eat? Can I eat it? The serpent, it says to the character, either Satan or God, either way you look at it, it's the same thing. It's not a lie. He's telling the serpent to tell her the truth. No, the fruit is good. You can eat it. There's nothing wrong with it. He said back to the snake, and the snake said back to him, then what? And God repeats, she's going to ask you if it's going to kill her, because her God told her that she would die if she got near it or touched it or anything. And I'm telling you, go in and wait. She'll come and ask you the question, then tell her, no, it won't kill you. It's good. It looks good. So eat the goddamn fruit. It will not kill you. So stop with your bullshit. Nobody's going to kill you. Not the fruit, not nothing. It's good. Eat it. Fine. That's the truth. It didn't kill her, in fact. No, it didn't. So either way you flip the characters, look how it works backwards, though. It does make sense. Because if it's backwards and you put God on the outside looking in, talking to the serpent to go reveal truth, well, guess what? That's what God and Christ are all about. Truth, truth, truth. You always have to know the truth. And that was the truth. The serpent told the truth. In fact, yes, the apple didn't kill her. No, she didn't die because she touched that fruit. She died 450 years later, of course. But her God killed her for that. That's the reason she died. Because he killed her. He told her that if she ate the fruit, she would die. That's what he told her. He never said that it was the fruit that would kill her. It's just she didn't know that it would be he that's going to kill her. Later on, she's going to die because she did it. And that's the reason why she did die. And so did Adam and everybody else going forward. The whole seed of Eve is all of it going forward in time from 6,000 years ago. The whole bloodline, Noah, Methuselah, etc., going forward, da-da-da. Okay, all of them died just the same old way, but they lived 900 plus years this way, that way, going forward, la la la. 400 years for Noah, etc. Okay, why? Okay, we'll get there in a minute later. It's the antediluvian period, meaning before the flood, because there was a massive flood. Yes, there was, and geologists are absolutely certain on this. The geologic record can be no doubt about it. They can reveal the date and all of it. They know, in fact, yes, the flood was indeed big and massive as fuck, but it wasn't the whole planet. It was only one particular region of this world called the cradle of civilization at the Tigris-Euphrates River, where kingdom of Babylon was, but not that and then. No, no, no. Babylon comes many hundreds of thousands of years later. This is way, 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 way more. You have to go further to get to that. But nonetheless, you know, the Sodom and Gomorrah story, okay? This is before the flood. Yes, this Sodom and Gomorrah story is occurring, all these events, and we have dug that up too. We found them. They did, in fact, burn from sulfur dioxide. That's brimstone. That's what it means. Just like that, they vaporized within seconds. Well, the scientists continue to look because they're not going to believe that God's standing on a cloud throwing fire at a city, because he does not do that. And nobody is going to believe that in any case. That's impossible. That doesn't make any sense. Nobody can do that. Not even him. It doesn't work that way. You got to get it. I told you this world isn't what you think. It's an illusion. It doesn't mean that it's ghostly and you can put your hands to it. No, everything works. Even this right here, it's just fake. It's nothing but. I'm a fraud. I'm nothing real. There's a spirit inside of me that is invisible. You can't see it. So if I were talking to you and you didn't see anything at all, then you would be confused. So I have to make the incarnation, but I'm already a human being, so it doesn't matter, because they stripped me of my ability to do the incarnation thing any way I want. Girl, boy, this way, 100 ways. Look at Luz. My God, are you kidding me? He must have, I know at least 8 of his incarnations, and they're all operating independent of themselves in this city alone. And that much I do know, because I've met them all, and it's exactly the same spirit that's controlling all of them. But yet and still, they're independent all of each other, doing different things at different times, all things differently. And my God, with his power, I know his limitations. My God, I told you I was a part of it. And I know now who I am and what I came from and what I did. So all the memories have come back now after all this time and everything that we've been through, to know that his power is so big that I could imagine, I cannot only estimate because of how big he is and the power that he has, he's at least 4 times the size of any of the archangels, which I was a member of. 6 of us only are that large. Well, he's maybe even 5 times bigger than any one of us as far as the power is concerned. So the possibility of him being able to be like quite nearly millions upon millions of different incarnated spirit, human being form, flesh, walking around on this planet in every location on the earth, doing independent things at different times, different this, different everything, but still only one spirit, one personality, one consciousness is controlling all millions of the different incarnated beings. It's still him, no matter what you say. The only thing is that he's not completely ubiquitous. He cannot be everywhere at all times, know all things, and do it all by himself. No, he can do millions upon millions. I'm quite certain of that. Yes, indeed, he does control the world. It's negotiated, and he has all control, and all things belong to him. He got that because he argued and negotiated with Daddy, and Daddy said, fine, that's right, you can keep it because the argument works, because Daddy's about justice, and he claimed that he cooked up this soup with making the Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal, and he did. That's true, and that he couldn't snatch them away from him because they belong to him, which is everybody in the world except for the Hebrew people line that come from the Adam and Eve 6,000 years ago that we can trace independent of the Holy Book. They alone are the Hebrew race, not Jewish faith. That's different. They happen to be Jews and practice Judaism, but they do it in a different way than the other peoples that call themselves Jews. They all claim synagogues and this and that and the other, and what their practice is quite nearly just about the same thing, but not exactly the same thing. That's why God tells us in the book that every man, no, God doesn't. It's, in fact, this is in the New Testament. Paul claims this. Paul is the super genius of the New Testament, that Christ, oh gosh, this is impossible to go backwards and forwards. I know I must be confusing you all, but I know how it all connects already, so it's easy for me to like just go back like that. But it must be madness for you all to hear all this stuff and to make any sense of it, because I'm going flipping that way, this way, and I'm racing because things are happening. Man, I told you, it's wrapping up, and this is my fucked up fucking job. I don't get to go unless I do it. It's mandatory. I have to do this. It's not fun, but I'm trying my best to make it fun. and games and happiness and make it happy, happy, play, play, play. Pretend, pretend, pretend Hollywood, yeah, yeah. Rock and roll, yes, all day long, every day, like I told you. Even if you don't want to do nothing at all, then fine, that's okay. You can do anything you want. And just think happy thoughts, cotton candy, carousels, drugs, sex, rock and roll, just like the devil tells you, or whatever you call him, God, I don't care. He's my brother, that's all. Look, when he knows who I am, my God, he's a liar. He's nothing but, he cannot stop. He's ill, I told you. He doesn't know how to tell the truth. If I told you, did you go to McDonald's or Burger King? He'll say, McDonald's. No, he's lying. We went to Burger King just because. He just can't help it. He is sick. He needs medication is the problem. He's not evil, evil. No, no. He's got beautiful qualities. He's a genius. He's super genius with music. My God. Nobody can do that better than him. That's why the music industry is locked up. Completely locked and loaded. And you got to sign a blood contract or else you ain't getting in. Because he can do it in 5 seconds better than anybody else could ever do. So why in the hell would he allow anybody else to do that when he can do it in 2 seconds and it'll always be brilliant no matter what? Because the only thing, but 20% about of the music industry is, they're not signing blood contracts, okay? There's about 20% of them that do not do that. They are allowed to write their own music if they can demonstrate that they can do this and actually, you know, break in some cash for the industry. That's the thing. The industry will allow you in, and he will too, if it can generate any kind of income. You know, it's not going to be the biggies, of course, but they can make, you know, millions or whatever. That's all. You know, just they'll be famous and superstars and rock stars, whatever the hell they are. It's just about 20% of them. For example, like Tracy Chapman. Okay, she's not a blood contract. Sarah McLachlan, no blood contract. Who else? There are many, yes, but about only 20%. That's about it. Just that much. All the 80% of all the rest, ever since it began, has always been blood contracts. Blood contracts, meaning that they sell their soul for rock and roll. That's just what it is. And we don't need to investigate that very far. I'm sure that you should know that already. My God, especially today. My God, Katy Perry and Lady Gaga both are telling you in your face, and Beyonce too, also, yes, says that she goes on stage and she doesn't know what, but she has a spirit in her that makes her do all the lovely, perfect things. She calls herself Sasha Fierce. That's not me. She comes into me when I'm ready to go on stage. I say, 1, 2, 3, and then come on, Sasha, come on, let go. And she goes, and she's, oh my God, shaking it, baking it, shaking it. Whoa, 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 bam, bam, bam. Whoa, whoa, wow, wow. Oh my God, impressive. Wow, the music is perfect. Oh God, her voice, beautiful, just beautiful. Everything about her. Oh wow, she's unbelievable. Just moving this way, that way. Oh God, just that ass going 9 ways but Sunday, shaking it everywhere. Oh my, the earthquakes. That's the reason. I'm telling you, the TikTok and the earthquakes has been an uptick since Beyonce started. When they're shaking her butts all over the place in concerts everywhere in the world, we got earthquakes happening everywhere on this planet, and it must be her, because why are we having so many little earthquakes everywhere in the world? Well, I say it's because Beyonce's shaking her ass all over the goddamn world so goddamn fast that of course there's going to be an earthquake and sinkholes and everything, and that's what we're finding. Oh no, I'm lying. It isn't her. It could be, but I don't think so. No, it is another planet that's coming into our field of view. You'll see it pretty soon. Don't worry. That's why I'm in a race to tell you all this stuff, because when it does come, and it'll be here pretty soon. I mean, TikTok, you know, like, I don't know, maybe 2, maybe 3, possibly years from now. Yeah, you're gonna be seeing it in the sky, and there'll be 2, like Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, right? He looks up into the sky, sees 2 suns. Yeah, why did they put that in the movie like that? Because scientists all unanimously agree, the ones that look in telescopes, astrophysicists, oh yes, they told us all that yes, indeed, when they look out there and they see all these things, that either they see clusters of stars, which means no planets at all, of course, and all that radiation, are you kidding me? Forget about it. And there are no planets there. It's just a group of stars and they're clustered. Or the other thing that they always see are dual star systems with two suns, like Luke Skywalker was looking on his planet up into the sky with two suns right there beside each other, big old massive things, and planets, of course, revolving around them, just like we do our sun. But yet they're almost every single time they're telling us the mass majority of almost every single one of them are dual star systems, not single star systems. They have found other single star systems. Yes, indeed, they're out there. We've looked all over the place, millions and millions of light years into the future or the past, going this way, that way, the other way. We can never, ever get to the how big it is because it keeps growing. They can estimate it. Look, okay, look, one time, these astrophysicists are attempting to get their minds around how big it is, and what they're trying to get an answer from is it possible that we could make even an estimation on the probability and the statistical odds of there being any more Earth planets out there, right, that could support Earth like our life and like human beings, that it could be in an extraterrestrial, environment that is quite nearly the same old way we are, and they're just so far away that we can't find them because this bitch is so goddamn big. Even with the super telescopes, we just cannot reach how far, and they're so big. I mean, beyond belief enormous at this point. It's just not big. The telescopes, my God, they need more super telescopes to get far away, and they can't build them. They don't know how. They're trying and they're getting it done, but goddamn, this motherfucker won't stop going. So they told the mathematicians at their conference that they needed to go and please, can you give us an estimation on your mathematical statistical probability of how many Earth planets are out there as big as it is? And the mathematician says, well, how big is it? They said that we don't know. It keeps growing, and that's the problem. They said, well, you got to be able to give us something to work with. We can't do it unless you tell us. So what is it? How big do you think it is? Give me an estimation. They're asking them, and they said, well, gosh, well, we can't be sure, but we think, it's like, oh, God. Like, I don't know, 300 billion light years into that direction. Perhaps, probably more, but, let's just try it like that. Just use that number. 300 billion light years into that direction. And that one, and that one, and this one, and this one, and every single one except the one backwards. Okay, that one goes, and we can stop it at one point in time, called 13.75 billion years ago. Period. It started. So we know that already. Got it. Good. Okay, moving forward. But they were trying to figure out how big the bitch is going to grow, and it's growing continually, never stopping, and they keep trying to reach the end, but it can't be done. Nothing will allow them to get to the end, so they have to roughly estimate, and this is only a hypothetical, theoretical idea, because there is no way to do it. So they said to them about maybe 300 billion light years into that direction, and this one and that one too, and then okay, always in under also, because in space it's going in every single direction, all different ones. Okay, so it's not east, west, north, south. It's all things all around the way. Okay, it's like hanging. It's gravity that's doing it, obviously, like Einstein proved in the theory of relativity and how it all works. Yes, it's a trampoline. So the planets are sitting on the trampoline and bouncing around like gravity, but they're not bouncing really. They're stabilized in an orbit. That's the sun that is holding the gravity of that field, is moving it, twirling it, twisting it, and moving it into that position every single day, all day long. And again, the whole solar system is moving around the damn Milky Way galaxy, and which was the 2012 incident that everybody was all hyped up on. Oh my God, the mystery of 2012, it's the end of the world, blah, 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 blah. No, in fact, that's not the case. It didn't happen, right? We're still here. Hello. So what was it? We were actually in that 2012 year, we did in fact cross the galactic plane, the center point of the plane of this galaxy called the Milky Way. We've made the rotation over the course of history of this solar system for 13.75 billion years ago. Oh my gosh. I have no idea how many times, but it must have been lots, hundreds of times. We've come around the damn solar, the whole damn galaxy, the whole goddamn thing. We're only in one little tiny neighborhood of one single arm of this Milky Way galaxy. We're just one little tiny piece. But nevertheless, That's what we were doing at 2012. That's exactly what the Mayan people were telling us. And their clockwork and putting clocks, ticking, 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 tick-tock, tick-tock. That's all they did. Talk about time. Nothing but time. Oh my gosh, calendars of this, calendars of that, calendars of this, da 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 da. But they were right. They were exactly right, because they did, in fact, tell us, that's the way they told it. They said that it was the end of an age, not the end of a world, not the end of the time of the planet's going to blow up, but there's an age that's ending, and they call it a bakun or a baktun, something like that. Anyways, that's what the word means. And they said that it means that we are going to cross over something of a plane of existence that will change all of humanity, will then begin to start to heat up, and this whole transformative, like, spiritual, evolutionary, complete, the whole damn world will start to have this consciousness shift that is going to impact the entire planet. It's been occurring since 2012, when we crossed the plane of the middle of the field of the entire galaxy, right there at the smack in the middle, crossing through as we went, just slowly. Some of us thought that we might get sucked in by the big black hole in there, but we didn't, because of the antimatter that's in front of the black hole that's keeping us from getting sucked in. So as we moved through, we didn't get sucked, of course, we're still here. But as we went, okay, we crossed the plane, now we've done it. It just is only a little bit of time is all it takes to get over that plane. And as soon as it happened in 2012, right there at that time that the Mayans told us it was that date, they did measure it. The scientists now know that that's what it was. So they prophesied through their, in their ancient period. Well, it's not ancient, it's actually in this common era is when the Mayan peoples were doing their calendar shit. However, they were very, very remote as far as like being connected to the other side of the world, where most of the land is located across the Atlantic Ocean. Over on this side, in the New World, we have, of course, the different ones. Well, we'll go over that later. Anyways, that's what they told us, that there will be a consciousness shift of the entire peoples of the humanity. In fact, they are correct on that also. It's been happening since we did it on the crossover of the plane. The whole damn world, look at it, it's going bananas everywhere on the planet. Every single nation on this world, all the damn activities, economic crisis here, starving people this, killing people from this, killing of that, stop chopping off heads here, oh God, immigrations of this, of that, of the other, oh God, every single place on earth, it's going nuts, because this is what is occurring because of the crossover. There is a spiritual consciousness that is completely and transforming a, if you could, if you could, oh God, the music, I'm telling you, we're going to do that too later. It's fun, because I made lots of music myself, because my maniac brother told me, no, it's locked up, you can't do it, no. Well, one thing's true, he is telling, the part about me making music, no, I don't know how to write music. That is true. No, I don't. I don't have that ability. But I can speak the words, and I know how to spit them very good, too, by the way. I have a very good at, making the lyric part, right? Okay, that's all that I can do, because he told me no, and he locked it down, and therefore I must, and I will now, okay? Because you said no, therefore I must, and I will. So watch, I'm going to do it, so behave, and don't worry about it. I'm getting in. Somehow or another, I'm going to do it, so watch out and don't worry about it. You're going to get it done. I'm going to get it done. Don't worry. I will. No, you never. And just like that, like a crybaby. Yeah, so anyways, we'll watch out. Well, we'll do that in another video, and I'll show you all my different songs, and you'll have to listen to the lyrics, and then you'll know that it is all me, because every single one of the songs that I wrote the lyrics to But of course, I'm not on the album cover. I don't want to be a rock star or famous or anything. That's not what I am. That's not what I'm here for. And it doesn't matter. I don't need all this fucking fame and money, and I don't want it. It's fucking filth. But yet, I traveled the entire world because of my super rich family. They had so much fucking filthy money thrown in my face all the time that I learned how to get whatever I wanted by screaming and raging, stomping my feet, and immediately I get whatever I want. And I've been that way my whole life, a monster, because of the corrupted money. That's why money is so corrupted and evil. It's bad. The want and the greed, it all comes from that. It turns you into a fucking monster, selfish as ever. No way I'm giving nobody no love at all, and I don't got no love from nobody else. I never did, except maybe one person in my life. Maybe she did. I believe her. Anyways, she's still alive, and I miss her, and I love her to death. But nobody else, you know, they all thought I was just like the weirdo fucking wacko, and nobody could understand what the hell is this kid's problem. He's fucking reading books, and that's all the hell that he wants to do every single fucking day, and he just doesn't play with children, he doesn't watch TV, he doesn't do this. What is wrong with your stupid, fucked up, dumb son? And they were all calling me the names ever since the very beginning of my family. There's only one person in my family, and only her, that never ever did, and she loved me. I'm on channel. Will you stop? No! Stop interrupting. God damn it. Look at this. We are on the air broadcasting, and I swear to God, we only got 10 more minutes for the show to over, and then we'll have to do another broadcast another day. Shit. And these interruptions are making me crazy. I love him to death. You know, he's one of my brothers. That's all. And they, you know, we live with each other. We've been living with each other in this goddamn trash can of Los Angeles. They trapped me, held me hostage, and they're trying desperately everything in their fucking power, and never have they been able to do it in 13 fucking years, so I'm not worried a bit about it. They know better, that they can try all day long, but if they try to touch me and hurt me at all, they're going to get their asses whooped in 2 seconds, because they have all been put on notice that that will not happen, because I have to do this, and Christ, thank you Jesus, all day long, has saved me from them, because he's got big ass power for sure. That I don't know about the authority part, but I'm pretty sure yes, and I'm gonna go with it anyway, because I know the power part is definitely true, because he showed that to me, and I know this maniac bitch that's after me does not have the same power. No way, no how. No, nothing like that. Different, way different. He's no, not that big. So at least I know that much, and that I can be protected from the monster. I can call him anything and name anyone I want, and he'll be mad, bouncing off walls and taking medication, I guess, but he's going to deal with it, because he just cannot shut me up, and he does not want the world to know none of this fucking information. It's a secret, and he don't want you to know it, because he's keeping you down, like how to see the future and how to call money for free. You don't have to work. There's nothing. God says that this should be a free world. Look at the trees. They grow fruit. You pick it. You eat it. You kill the animals. Eat it. It's food. There it is. Easy. Nothing to it. Why can't you just build a house and wherever you want? Who says that you have to buy the land and this and that? Why? Because the maniac made it that way. That's all. This is what their negotiation was all about. God kept telling him over and over again, if you would run it the way I'm telling you to run it, then maybe I'd be okay with it. But you cannot do what you're trying to do, to make people worship you like you're me. You're not me. I'm the one who did everything. I made you, bitch. And you think you're going to be the one and have all these hybrid cooked up fucking something that you made to worship you? Fuck no. That's why I don't give a fuck, and I'm going to throw them all in the goddamn fire, because they don't belong to me. They do belong to you, and therefore, I agree, I'm not going to take them from you. I can't do that. That's not right, and I'm not going to. But they also, I'm going to give them the opportunity through Christ, which is very easy if you just would know this truth and read the New Testament and do it all. It just is not that easy to believe, and therefore you're saved. That's it. No, I'm sorry, you're not. That's a lie from hell, just on purpose, just to do that, to fuck you up. And he said the great apostasy would happen first, before the end of Jacob's trouble begins. The due date was 2016. It equals 6,000 years then, but nothing happened. Why? Because he is stopping it. It has to be. It's not Daddy. Daddy's ready to jump at any minute. He wants to get this over with, and he's fuming with rage that it isn't yet done, because his son, Christ, is blocking him and telling him, no, I need more time. Please give me more time. I need more people to convert, to change. And millions all over the planet are indeed right this minute. It's impossible to believe, unbelievable, but yet it's true. From every nation on earth, there are millions that are converting into Christianity from every single religion on this planet. It's quite nearly impossible to know how, but it is Christ, and he must be doing it because it's happening all over the planet. Millions upon millions of people just transforming, changing into Christianity and the belief system and doing it. And that is what he keeps blocking, quite obviously. I'm only assuming because I don't get secret knowledge or information. I'm on a need-to-know basis only. It's not my business. But I know enough to assume that it has to be that, because I do know Daddy and I do know Christ, and I know them both, and they know me. And I'm working on their behalf, but that doesn't mean I get secret knowledge or information. No, I'm not special. There's nothing about me that's special. I'm fucked up, very much so. But that's the reason why I have to do what I'm told, and it's none of my business whatever the hell they're going to do, whatever they do. It's none of my business anyway. I don't have to be knowing that, and I won't. I'm not going to ask no questions because I know better. But believe me, they're not lying about nothing, and they mean what they say, both of them. And Christ isn't taking nobody to nowhere kingdom out of this fucking trash can that's going to go on fire in torment forever unless they do every single thing in that New Testament. All of it is, you must, all of it, you have to obey every single thing. So what I wanted to do with this video is to talk to you about this whole abomination homosexuality thing, because it's important for you to understand what this is all about and why it is, because there are many things about it, and it isn't what you believe it to be. It is an abomination to God, which equals death. All three abominations are occurring in America, so this country is waiting for judgment to get their butt whooped. We are what it's referred to in the Bible as Mystery Babylon. That's the name of this nation. If you find it in that book saying Mystery Babylon, it's referring to the United States of America. That is its new name, because it is the cage of every foul-footed, caged, unclean bird of every evil spirit there could be. That's what it says. That's what it is. Look at the Statue of Liberty. Are you kidding me? No, sweetie. That's not liberty. That's a woman. She looks almost like she's pregnant, doesn't she? Oh, wow. I wonder why. And she's got how many little stars, things running out of her head, little spikes? 12, yes. Oh, wow. And what is that big thing in her hand? It's a, what, a fiery flame or something? No, I think it's a big golden cup maybe, filled with filthiness of fornication, and she wants to offer it to the whole goddamn world. As you walk into New York City, she's right there in your face, the bitch, the whore of Babylon, holding the cup that's filled with filthiness of abominations and making the whole world drunk on the filthiness she's offering, and the whole planet is drunk on her shit and filth that comes out of Hollywood and Washington, D.C., and also both. You're running around like lunatics and out of their minds doing every single criminal thing you could ever fucking imagine. They're just way wackos, psychopaths, sycophants of all kinds, licking the ass and whore of the faggot running this place. That's why you got faggots running all around this motherfucker, because he's making it that way. He wants every single thing that Daddy says no. It must be the other way. Opposite. Reverse it. Backwards. Anything he says no. Do it backwards. Immediately. All people. Now. That's why he's forcing it down your throat. Everybody has to be gay, because Daddy says no, absolutely not. No gay. No, it's wrong. It's an abomination. I'm going to kill you for it. You're going to die. You're going to burn. I said that. What did I say? I said that. You kill your babies. You burn for that. You fucking idol worship. Forget it. You burn for that. But yet, has he done it? No, because nobody's gone nowhere yet. They're just sleeping if they're dead. That's all that's happening. But at judgment, if they had been doing those things and never ever did repent for it and never did get saved, then they will be in that torment forever. Believe that. I don't know if it'll be forever. I can't go with that. I don't think it is going to be forever. I think that's, no, I don't think so. Because, believe me, I know enough about Daddy that he ain't going to stop creating. This is what he does, honey. He's probably already got another one ready to launch at any minute. But look, this could be millions or billions of years that you will have to go into the fire and torment, and it is what it is. You're not going to die. That is the problem. He can't kill you or annihilate you. So if you're going to be punished at all for something and anything at all, you're going to have to do that. And that's all. It's pure nothing but agony. Same way we did, but it was ice cold freezing. It's the same goddamn thing. There's no difference between freezing or fire. It's the same thing. Agony, nothing but, that's all. So you want it, you can have it. That's the decision you're making. If you make no decision at all, and you never did, and you never tried, and you never knew a thing, and you just never knew, then you get that. Because every single thing in this world belongs to Luce. It's all his. That's why he told Christ, bow down, worship me one time, and you see all this, every single thing, it's mine. I can give it all to you, and I will. And he was not lying, and Christ knew that was true. He would have given it all, every single thing, just like he told him. That was the one and only time that he didn't lie. He was ready to do it just like that if he would do it one time. And he didn't do it. He refused, and that is the last time he showed up. He never came back. That was the last of the 3 temptations that Christ had to deal with while his wilderness experience was occurring for 40 fucking days with no food. Just water alone. He must have been just, oh! And he's tempting him and tricking him and telling him, do you like it? Do you want it? Oh, what about this? And he shows up again. And then the first time he says, oh, look at me. You know me, right? Christ, Jesus, you, huh? Yeah, you're the magic one, huh? And what's wrong? Are you hungry? Well, take that bread right there. Look at it. It's bread. No, it's rocks. It's rocks there. Just change it into bread. Your daddy wants you to eat. You know he does. He loves the hell out of you. Go ahead. Take the rocks, turn it to bread, and eat it. You need food, damn it. You've been starving to death out here for, damn it, 2 whole weeks already. What in the fuck? You can do that. Go ahead. No, get behind me, Satan. Be gone. Flash, he goes. Next. Okay, he waits. Oh, get that motherfucker. I'm going to do it again. Okay, next. So he shows up again. You motherfucker. Christ, yes, you know me. Again, here I am. Haha, hello. Yes, you're fucked up. Weak as fuck, aren't you? Starving your ass off. Well, look, watch this. Hang on. Flash! He's on top of a huge mountain, on the top of like a pinnacle, Christ and the devil together, looking down onto the fucking earth. It must have been like a super skyscraper into the air, like just barely the two of them could stand on top of it. And Christ is wobbling and like, oh shit, what? He's like, jump, jump, Jesus, jump. What's the problem? You know your father would never let you slip, not even your toe touch the ground before super angels will come to rescue you. He loves you so much, you know it. He would never allow that to happen. So jump it. He will rescue you immediately, and you know it. You know that, and so do I. So just jump and see. They will never let you die. You know that. Come on, just jump it. Jump, jump. No, get behind me. He flees. Done. God, goodbye. Flash. Over. He's starving, thirsty. Oh, fuck. He keeps going. Another week goes by. And I'm back. Here I am. Hello. Back again. Hi. Remember me? Are you weak? Oh, yes, you are. What about this? How about this? Look. This will be great. Watch. Look at all this. What? 1, 2, 3. Flash. There it is. Okay, in your face. Look at it. All of it. It's mine, right? Yes. Yes, we agree. We both know. Yes, we do. Yes, all of it belongs to me. And yeah, you know that also. Yes, we agree. Okay, so look. Wow, bow down to me one time. Just once. Worship me. One time. Just one time only. That's all that you need to do. Once. And I'll give it all to you. And he wasn't lying. And Jesus knew that too, by the way. He knew he wasn't lying at all. No, this is the one and only time he didn't lie. He was absolutely going to do whatever the hell he said, which was to give it all to him. All of it. Just for one, worship him one time, bow down to him and say, I praise you, Lucifer. And he's weak as fuck at his weakest point ever, so this is hard. It must have been quite nearly impossible. And he just said, thou shalt not worship anything other than your God, and only that. And flash, he's gone. Goodbye. That's it. He doesn't come back. He's fuming with rage. Ugh, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. I gotta kill him now. I gotta murder him. How can I do it? Because he's got all these fucking magical powers and he's using magic and witchcraft and all these things. And this is bullshit. And I know that God did it and fucking A. I don't give a fuck. Because this is my fucking planet, my world, and I'm not telling you to go. I'm gonna keep it. Because I know I can do it. Like the lunatic that he is. He's psychopath just like every single one of them ever been in this world. Mao, Stalin, Hitler, Pol Pot, you know what I mean? God knows, the list goes on and on and on. Even the fucking bitches in Washington, D.C. right this now. They're all the fucking, you gotta be a murderer or a criminal to be in that motherfucking Congress or that government. Yes, you do. It's part prerequisite. Oh, I thought you knew. You didn't know that? Oh, yes, they all have a jacket. Not a jacket simply to be warm. No, no, no. The jacket from the arrest records, right? You know, all the crimes that you made. The jacket that the police pull on you, right? Yes, yeah, they all have one, big time. Every single one of them. Fuck yes. Are you kidding me? They rape, brutalize, murder, eat their shit, and then eat them. Children, yes, they eat them. God damn it. What? Are you out of your fucking minds? What are you telling me? You're eating them. Oh my God. It's bad enough that you're kidnapping them, raping them, torturing them, these poor children. Oh my God. Somebody save the children, please. This is insanity. Who told you to do that? What? Why are you doing? What do they taste like? Steak, lobster? Come on, tell me now, please. What do you get from this? Oh, your billions and billions and billions of dollars? Oh, yes, the filthy money. That's, of course, why. Yes, of course, it all belongs to him, so what? It's easy. He just tells them, if you do this, and you eat their shit and their piss, and then you cook them up and you eat them too, drink their blood for wine instead of real wine. You know, the real wine, you say, the older the vintage, the better the brand. It's more expensive. The younger the vintage, the less expensive one. Okay, it's better that way. Okay, everything's reversed with him. Always, always. Upside down and backwards. No matter what it is, if it has to be that way for the wine, then the wine that they drink is blood, so it's backwards. So the younger the vintage, the better, and the older the vintage, the worse. So this one says, how is your wine? And my wine is, what's the vintage on yours? My vintage is 9. I have a 9-year-old vintage, and it's just, I don't know, it's pretty good, but let me say, what is yours? I have a 3-year-old vintage. Oh, I have it, yours. Yours must be amazing. I cannot believe it. Can I taste this a little bit? Yes, but only a little bit because me. I had to pay millions and millions of dollars just to have one glass of wine from a 3-year-old vintage. Millions and millions and millions? How many millions? $10 million. Oh my gosh, I only paid $2 million for my 7-year-old vintage. He said that's a reason, because it's 7-year-old. And it's not fun, it's not the best, you know, not like mine. So only take one sip, that's it, and you better not, because I need my wine. I mean, god damn it, how can I eat my dinner with, you know, the children that I cooked up and baked in the oven, and they come out and they serve it later. We're gonna have to have something to drink it with, and we gotta drink the wine. The wine is the blood is the wine. Wine, 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 wine. And they don't give a fuck. So they toast the toast and they say, oh, let me take a sip. Okay, oh my God, wow, oh my gosh, I have to have a 3-year-old vintage now. From now on, it's always gonna be that. I don't care. It's $10 million each time. I don't care. I have billions and billions and billions. Yes, all up my ass. And that's what they tell me. Yes, at the account. Yes, I call him. Banker, talk to me. How much money is in my account? Will you tell me? He looked on the computer, check. Oh, yes, you have $20 billion, $30 billion, something like that. Okay, perfect. That's right. That's what I thought. Okay, goodbye. And then, so he said, oh, yes, no problem. I have it. It's okay. I'll just spend every single time I'm going to have 3-year-old vintage because, oh, my gosh, it's blowing my mind. But it's so expensive because we cannot find them. They're hard to find. We cannot snatch them away. Because they're always like, you know, with their family, their mothers and fathers usually, you know. But look, in this country, the United States of America, there are 450,000 runaway children. Are you crazy? No, I do not think so. We have shelters for runaways all over the country, honey, and they're all packed, and it ain't 450,000 of them, I can assure you of that. No, that's not happening. I do not think so. But somebody and something is very wrong, because the milk cartons have pictures all over the place with missing children everywhere in the country. It's just that our country is so goddamn big, land-wise, geographical-wise, with only 350 million people in the entire nation. Oh my God. It's almost as though literally the people, all of the 350 million people in this nation live exclusively and nothing but just all of the Atlantic coast into the Gulf Coast, around to Texas, down to the border, and then all up and down the West Coast, San Diego to Seattle, all that, and then just little bitty parts of little peoples in the states in between. Rocky Mountains in that range that separates after you cross the Mississippi. The Rocky Mountains don't begin immediately, but once you pass, you know, Nebraska, getting further a little way, in Wyoming, they begin. So from that point forward until you get to California, it's nothing people at all. Nothing. And in the airplane, I've done that trip many, many times from New York to LA. Are you kidding me? It's only 6 hours to go from here to there, or backwards it's a little bit more because of the wind. It's different. But it's not much more, because they just thrust the jet up, you know, faster. There's a little bit more, but they can't do it super speed. It just can't make it going this way, you know, at 6 hours. They can do it easily 6 hours in just that, from New York to here. But going backwards to go from LA to New York, it's going to be at least 6.5 hours. Probably it could be even 7, because the trade winds will stop the plane. They have to use more power, and the jets, you know, the fleet is a little old. They need to upgrade because they can't force it into the, you know, shake it and it'll start shaking maybe. These jets have been built long time ago. They're updating all the time, of course. No, yes, they are. Yes, of course, they do it all the time. But, you know, we're out of money. We're completely broke. But these are jets that are made by private equity, you know, big manufacturing companies like Boeing, okay, they're not broke. They got millions and billions of dollars. That's why. So they do upgrade and build these things because they can, and they do. So it's not the government building them. No, we're completely broke. There's nothing that the government can do at all. We're stuck in a quagmire, and honey, I'm telling you, it's coming, and soon, to a theater near you. Hello. And watch out, because this movie is real. So buckle up and prepare yourself. We all have to do it. Just know that. Nobody gets out of this. These fake Christians clapping their hands every day and singing to Jesus, crosses around their necks. Oh, we love Jesus, yeah, yeah, yeah. And with super preachers everywhere and big ass fucking thousands of people. That's the apostasy he's talking about. That would come first, and then the trouble will happen. And that's what's happening. Everywhere you look, all these false doctrine teachers of the false gospel that isn't the same. Anybody who teaches a different gospel than the one we have here is a false prophet. It's a lie from hell. But the people will turn their ears away from the truth because they cannot deal with it, and then they will look to doctrines of demons instead. And that is exactly what these preachers are all doing. Every single one of them are preaching a different gospel than the one that's in the Bible. Come on, crosses all over you. That's nothing but idolatry. He said it 1,000 times. I don't care. I know you love me and that you think that that's love, but it isn't. That's my death, motherfucker, and I'm not dead. I came back and I thought you knew. I said don't do it. If you did love me, then you can prove it by not doing that. I don't believe that you love me, even though I believe that you do. You think you do, but I don't feel loved if you do that. So don't do it. But still they do, because they say they love him so much they have to do it, and it means that, of course. No, he said don't do that. It's an idol, and Daddy hates that so much, and it represents his death, and he ain't dead. He's alive and kicking. You better believe it. Yes, he is, because my back couldn't be covered if he wasn't. There could no be. How in the fuck would I be alive when my brother, as powerful as he is, with all his other brothers along with him, with all their power and all their minions that lick his butt every fucking day, do whatever he says, and he's a maniac, wants to kill my ass, never could, never would, he can't not do it now, because of only one thing, that I am sealed by Christ. He's protecting me. He's terrified of Christ. He won't come near me anymore because he's so afraid. But yet and still, the dum-dum, as he is, thinks that he's going to send in representatives, either his minions, half-breeds, I don't give a fuck. Some of my other brothers, they're now doing it too. It's an emergency alert now. It's really high alert, because they haven't been able to do it in 13 fucking years, except push me down a couple times. But Christ just immediately gives it all back to me every single fucking time. I have to wait a couple months, but it'll happen. I'm not worried. It always does. Because he's not letting go, and he's still got my back. And believe me, I check confirmations all the time to make sure, because if I'm opening my mouth against that monster, I better know that it is protected, because he would get me in 2 seconds. They're waiting right now. They're here. You can't see them, but they're here. I told you already. The Hadron Collider in Switzerland and France, big-ass machine that they built for the particle acceleration, is telling them that this dimension is in fact real, and it's full of something, but they don't know what. But it's full of shit is what it's full of. Here's the analogy. You can understand it like this. This is the outrage of the other scientists that are trying to tell them to shut it off and stop fucking with it. I told you that the possibility that they can accelerate this thing to full speed, one light speed at that rate, smashing these two, one neutron, one proton, that's it. Just, you can't even see them, but you smash them, collide them at that speed, bam. The possibility of a black hole, or a strangelet as it's known, it's almost quite nearly the same thing. It's just that I'm not an astrophysicist, so I can't explain it to you, but I know what it is. That this is a very high possibility that could occur. That's why the danger, and we're going to be sucked into it, and we don't know where it will happen if that happens, except that maybe we'll just all be dead, and I don't know, because they don't know. That's why you can't call it a vacuum, because we know about black holes, of course, since we found out. We did not know about that until very recently. Back in the 70s, they started to discover them everywhere. And even we didn't know that the galaxies themselves all have a black hole in the middle, spinning the whole damn Milky Way galaxy itself. And shit, it took them forever to figure out why in the hell does that make sense, because they're all black holes, but nothing's getting sucked in. Because then they later discovered that there's something else in front of it called antimatter. It's the opposite. So it's like two North Pole magnets. They just won't stick. No matter how force it all you want, they're never going to stick. They will fight and fight and fight. They won't attach. So that's what's occurring, and why the black hole doesn't suck us in. Instead, it spins us around and around and around and around, and keeps trying to, but the antimatter stays right there in the center face of the cycling, spinning black hole, to hold it in place without sucking everything into it, all of us, everything at all. Just holding it, every single galaxy in this fucking universe that we can see. So, back and forth, here we go. Again, I wanted to tell you what the statistical probability of the scientists, when they wanted to know how many Earth planets are likely to be there. The mathematicians immediately said, how big is it? They said they didn't know. They said, well, you got to give us something to work with, or else we can't do the math. They said, well, we think maybe it's, I don't know, 300 billion light years into this direction, that direction, all directions. Okay, we'll go with that number. That's as far as we can estimate it, and that's conservative, because we think that's probably it's way bigger than that, but let's just assume that it's that large. Okay, fine, we'll do the math. We'll come back and tell you next week. The mathematicians go and they do their calculations. They come back. A week later, they're there. They gather them around, the scientists, the astrophysicists who want this information. They want to know what is the probability and the odds and the statistics that they could find other Earth planets out in this big-ass universe that's so big that everywhere they look, they can't find one. The mathematicians told them, oh, you'll love this. They said that there are at the very least, as big as the numbers that you told us to measure, the statistical odds of there being other Earth planets out there is probably something like 150 million other Earth planets. Yes, that's the number that they gave them. There must be, at the very least, yes, 150 million other Earth planets out there somewhere, only we cannot find them anywhere we look. and we can see far distant ways into the very deep in that direction. So far, light years, millions of light years in that direction, still not yet one found. But the mathematicians are absolutely certain that they did the math, that's the answer. And so they told them, well, what is going on? We have telescopes everywhere. We're looking hundreds of millions of light years into this direction, and we cannot find one. And then the mathematicians told them, they said, look, you can point your super telescopes in any direction you want, build bigger ones, and you still might find one, maybe not, or maybe one or two. Even if it took 100,000 years, and you still may not find one. So that's how big you told us it was. We're working on your numbers. You told us to estimate 300 billion light years in this direction, so we did. That's the number. So keep looking. They're there. Are they exact? Yes, they're right too on that also. I'm going to confirm it. Yes, I have to. I have to tell you the truth. They're right on the number. It's there. They're there. But are there people there? No. No, no, no. We're all alone. Yes, indeed. Are there animals and plants? Oh, yes. Many, many. Yes, just like this one. Same old thing. All those planets that are out. They have water. They have everything except people. That's all. Just us. We're the only thing that's not there. Just we're here. Only here. No extraterrestrial life form in this goddamn universe. As massive and big as it is, continually growing. No, nothing at all. No aliens. No, no, no. You're confused. Those are demons, honey. What it says, if Satan can transform himself into an angel of light, why cannot his ministers do the same? Exactly that. So, the conspiracy involving what? These spaceships kidnapping people and all over the planet, this is like 1% of the entire population of the planet claims that they have been abducted onto spaceships with little alien people, the image that you always see with the big head round and split like this and the eyeballs big and brown. Okay, them. That, they all look like that always. They report the same thing. And every single, this is 1% of the whole population, and it's all over the planet. No way, no how this can be a conspiracy. These people are not lying. Clearly, this is a real thing. That is for sure, because this cannot be a conspiracy. It's too big. And it's everywhere in the world, and they all claim the same experience. Then this is definitely something that's occurring. The problem is it distant light years away from us, from some unknown extraterrestrial planet where there are aliens living? No, couldn't be. Why? Because if they're coming from distant locations everywhere that we can't find, so far away, coming in this direction or that direction, either or, and the astrophysicist said, every single one that we talked to says absolutely no way that's not extraterrestrial beings of aliens of coming from different distant worlds. Because they don't see any traffic. And if it's 1% of the goddamn population, this is millions of people that are claiming this. They're not lying about it. So therefore, what in the hell could it be? There's another reason too. Not only do they not see traffic at all, of any kind of spaceships going any direction, none at all. That's what they see in their telescopes, nothing about that. They don't ever find that. Nowhere that they've looked so far, they have found nothing. So where and what is it then? I told you already, it's demonic spirits. They are in this invisible dimension right next to you. They pop in and they pop out. Just like they thought that it was. It's flashing in, flashing out, flashing in the quantum field. That's what it's doing. So it's also doing it here, right here with us. If it's down there doing it, then it has to be up here. It's science. It's empirical. It can't be not doing it up here if it's doing it down there. Obviously, dum-dum. It's just that it's flashing so fast, back, that our eyeballs cannot detect it. It seems like it's all here all the time. It never moves. And it doesn't. It just works that way. And where are we going exactly? That's the question. Well, is it? I told you they already discovered the Higgs boson particle that told them that, in fact, this is a real dimension. It's invisible space that we cannot know. It's like putting a radio station on a different channel. We're on the rock and roll channel. They're on the country music channel, and they stole the knob. So we can't change it over to the country music station because they took the knob away, so we can't do it. And it's all sealed up and veiled. They have the knob. They can turn it backwards anytime they want and come to our radio station and pop in and pop out all the time because they have the knob, but only that we don't. So the scientists that are so hell-bent on determining this, they already know that it is, in fact, a real dimension. But it's like this. Here's the analogy. This is the outrage from the other scientists. It's like this. You have a piece of wood, right?
It's just wood. That's all that it is. This does not mean that the place is on fire. No, it's not on fire. No, no. But I have to use the analogy all the same because it's the only way I can know how to describe it. It's how the physics of the operational reality of this dimension that's right here next to us that you cannot see, feel, hear, touch, or anything. It's completely invisible, but yet it's full of nothing but. It's filled with every single motherfucking thing you can ever think of, just all disembodied spirits of every single sort and kind. You call them demons, yes, and fallen angels also, but the fallen angels are a limited group. They're very small, my brothers and me. Yes, it was 1/3 of the heavenly host, which equals, it was approximately 10, 20, 33, and plus Lucifer equals 34,000 exactly, is 1/3 of the heavenly host that did the rebellion and got thrown out. That is what the number is. So there are literally hundreds upon hundreds of millions, even billions of disembodied spirits called demons that he also cooked up that are used for the purpose of anytime you violate these things called sin or acts of sin, okay, these things, well, Christ says that you will sin until the day you die, so don't worry about it. Just ask, you get repentance immediately. Bam, ask, done, clean slate, over, next. Well, then what is the problem? If he can do that so easily, then why is it so important for us to be absolutely sure that we're doing everything? Because he knows the difference about people who are trying and they fall down and others who do it willfully and claim that they're falling down. Don't try to lie to him. He already knows that that's a lie. If it's not true, he'll know it, so you lost just because you tried that. He's going to throw you away just because you spit a lie at him. Know who you're talking to. He's the Holy fucking Spirit. He knows every single thing. He does not need you to tell him what you're doing and what you're not doing. He knows every single thing about all people all over the earth, no matter what. He does not need surveillance equipment or auditory equipment to listen to this, to see that, nothing. No, that's the other one, the maniac. He's the one wiring it all up because he cannot do the same thing. He cannot monitor all things at all times with everything, so he has to have cameras and microphones all over the place. He can be millions and millions of places all at once. Yes, he can do that, but not every single thing, everywhere, billions and billions of all the people of everything. That's why he has all these demons, and he doesn't believe in jack of all trades, master of none. His belief system says that all these demonic disembodied spirits that he's cooked up as laboratory experiences too, they are not human beings, of course. They're disembodied spirits, so they do not have the power of consciousness in the same way as much as that could allow them to manifest into human flesh form like the fallen brothers of mine. They can. The disembodied demonic spirits do not have that ability. That's why they are around, and they are hideously ghouled, and it's veiled from your eyes so that you cannot see it because you'd be terrified if you had to look at it. So it's protecting you from being able to live this world and this experience called life without ever having to see the nightmare that's right under the veil, right beside you. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of them surrounding every single person in this world. The moment you jump into one of these emotions called lust, greed, anger, violence, okay, any one of them, gluttony, goes on and on. You know the list, you know your emotions, any single one of them, all of them, every single one. It's going to be bad news. The moment you do one, let's say it's anger. You're angry, okay, mad, you're fucked, you're mad, okay, somebody did something to you, so you want to fucking fuck him up, and you want to go do this, that, and you're angry, okay, there it is, the door's open now, bam, it's open because you did it. You're now angry, and now they jump immediately. As soon as you get into that emotion, and you can't stop it right away because it's so consuming you, you're so fucking pissed off or whatever happened between you and this other person, whatever it is, that demon of anger, he's a specialized demon, only because he doesn't believe in jack of all trade, master of none. No, he has specialized demons. They only do one particular thing. So there is each demon has his own thing. There is a demon for this, a demon for that, right like that. Okay, so the anger one, that demon will jump right into your brain. He's not possessing you. No, he cannot do that. What he's doing is you opened the door when you did the anger thing. As soon as you went into anger, now he's got the permission. The door is open. He jumps into your brain. He's not possessing you or hijack. He cannot do that. No. He doesn't have the power to do it. They could do it. Yes, they can in certain locations of the world, like in India and Haiti, places that are doing voodoo, witchcraft, and idol worship all over the place, like for real, like hardcore. Oh yes, in these locations all the time, everywhere you look. Yes, indeed. They can jump in and then they can attempt to try to possess you physically and take over your body. And it happens all the time in those locations every day. Because God says that these are abominations, you cannot do it. And it's absolutely death for this. So he allows these demons to have the permission to come in, and if they can, they can. If they can't, they can't. This is what you get from that. And the possibility of you being possessed by a foreign spirit of a demonic sort, because of that reason, is a very high likelihood. So therefore, that's it. But in this case, we're talking about Western culture where we don't do those things. In fact, the United States of America is the most Christian nation on the planet. Always was, always has been. Even to this day now, the mass majority of the population in this country are Christian peoples. But they are attempting to change all of that, obviously, by taking all your rights away, saying that you cannot believe this, you can't believe that, and we got to do this, we got to do that, slowly eroding it all away, taking everything and all things away from you. And eventually it will, in fact, don't worry, I've already seen that future because I know how to see the future. It's not hard, you can do it. All human beings have the opportunity and ability. In one of the videos later, I'm going to teach everybody how to do that, because I want people to know all things and that they do have abilities and they don't have to be fucked up and do all this shit. But we're running out of time, and I'm not going to give away secrets about how to do these things because you're going to love it so much. And I want you to have it, of course. It's not that I want to keep anybody down. It's just that I don't want people calling me the names that my brother calls me, and I'm not that. I'm doing good things and telling you the truth. Whether or not you like it or not is up to you. But I am telling you the truth, and that is all I'm doing. So I have no intention to keep you down or want to be worshipped whatsoever. It's them that want to do that. They can call me any name they want. It's still a lie. So why in the fuck would you ever believe them? They're always going to lie. And you know it because the Bible, if you ever read it, and any time you ever went to church, even as a child, they told you about the devil and God, and he's the liar, and he's the good one. Okay, you can use the name if you want to do it. It doesn't matter. But I never call him devil or evil or nothing, because he ain't that. And he's not no redskin, horned beast, scary monster. No, he's nothing at all like that. He's beautiful, in fact. He can be anything he wants in the human form. He can incarnate into anything. But he generally, almost exclusively, is always in a male form as a man, and has to be homosexual always, because daddy says no, 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 and he says, okay, then opposite backwards has to be. Just anything, reverse it. Whatever daddy says, go backwards and do it the other way. Just because he's a brat, and that's the way he operates. And that's what the homosexual thing is all about. But there's way, way more to that also. There's a reason for all of this stuff, and I'm going to share it all with you so that you can know it doesn't mean you're evil or you're bad or that you should be burning in torment forever. No, no, God does not really want to do that. He wants to save everybody. What really, it's Christ himself who is the one holding everything back and asking, and of course he gets whatever he wants, because the 2016 year was the 6,000 year period. It ended, but nothing happened. Why? Because Christ is doing something and asking his Father to hold off. Let's hold on. Wait, let me do what I'm doing, because it's now happening, and it's happening quickly all over the planet. I'm getting more people on our side, and he's winning over souls after souls after souls, because he wants to save everybody on the planet. He's nothing but love. Daddy's angry and mad and wants to throw everybody in the trash can because they don't belong to him anyways. Why would he? The only people that he cares about are his people, the Hebrews. That's it. Nobody else matters to him. That's why he just doesn't give a fuck. If they're not going to go along with the program, and the program is under Jesus Christ's authority in that New Testament, and every single thing he says, he fucking means it, and you need to know it. And you can't just say, oh, I believe in him, therefore I'm saved. No, that's a lie from hell, just to deceive you so that you will do that, to take you fucking away. And everything that Catholic Church is telling you is completely wrong and upside down and backwards, and I can explain every single detail about it to prove it all to you, and I will do so in another video. But nonetheless, it's already 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's so fucking much infra-goddamnation. God knows this is a complicated puzzle, but even though I know it all and I can explain it, It's hard to do it because it's hard for you as human beings, and I understand all this. I am a human being too, so I get it. I didn't know either when I first started until it all started to happen, and then very, very little by little, you know, I got more and more and more and more because of who I am, of course, and that's the reason, because my subconscious contents is always arriving back when I come back, even though I have a blank slate consciously. It's still there. Everything, all the memories, all the things, they're there. Only as human beings, we have no way to get into that subconscious contact unless we're under hypnosis of some kind, but that's a dangerous thing too, because if you're going to allow somebody to put you under hypnosis, God knows, you better hope that they're doing only good things, because if they got you under hypnosis, honey, they could do anything. They can wire up anything they want into your fucking mind and control you completely and utterly. And they do it all the time in Hollywood and the music industry. They are hijacked, hypnotized, and wired up to believe all of the things that they're doing. And then now they talk about it openly. Katy Perry says that, and then I said I wanted to be a country music star, but then I said, sell myself to the devil. Just like that, telling the whole world. Beyonce too, said the same thing about Sasha Fierce. Who else? Bob Dylan, he says it too, same thing. Led Zeppelin, they've admitted it. Okay, who else? There's more. Gaga admits it. She said, I swear by Lucifer. Just like that, and they're all laughing. They don't even get it. She's serious. She's not joking. She's really deadly serious. She's also possessed. Every single one of them are by foreign demonic spirits. And in fact, Eminem, he happens to be one, very, very unclear about what's going on with him, because Eminem is incredibly talented, first of all. Secondly, he did make a blood contract. In fact, yes, I know that for sure he did. However, in his case, he does, in fact, write all of his own words. All of his words are really his own. He got that permission because we're not sure really why. That's the big question, because he's telling you in all of his music now, not the very start, but in now as it goes forward, he's beginning to let out the real information of what this thing is all about. If you listen to his lyrics, he spits it the right way and tells the truth. But the thing that doesn't make sense is anybody, like when Michael Jackson was doing it, and the whole world is listening to this motherfucker because he's a superstar of the world, so my God, if they want to kill this bitch, then they're going to have to work hard to do it, because he's big, big, powerful, famous, got lots of money, got guards and security and everything. It's got to be done a different way. They got to do something if they want to kill him and get rid of him, because he will not do along with the program. But he did agree to the contract, and he knows goddamn well what he's been doing. Even though he was tricked into it, he tried his best to get out of it, but he could not do it. And every single thing that he attempted to do with the music and changing it this, changing it that, is breaking the rules. And Luce is going bananas and telling him, you fucking watch out. I'm going to fucking hurt you. Stop now and do it the right way. Like Burn the Disco Down and Off the Wall, those albums, and Thriller and all those. They're all good. Perfect. That's all good for him, for Luce. He loves the hell out of those things. Yes, that's the way he wants the music. Just like that. Perfect as ever it was. All of Michael Jackson's music is brilliant. Even when he began writing his own music himself and no longer allowed for the devil, his friend Tom in the mirror room, to do it for him, he's now able, at 5 years old he started, so by now I'm sure he does understand how in fact he can create brilliant, very good music that people will like, and it will sound awesome. It's not as super hits like he did with Off the Wall and Thriller and Bad, okay, all these albums, because he's not writing that music, so they're not going to be as super hits in the same way. But nevertheless, they're very, very good, because he's super talented and does have the ability to definitely dance and sing, which was the whole point. That's why they picked him and why he got the blood contract, because he could do that. And they recognized that even at 5 years old. They knew he was the one that was going to be. So that's how he rose to the top. But they killed him for it. We all watched it for 15 fucking years, putting charges on him this, charges on him that, twice this. He gets freed both times because he wasn't guilty. And even if he were guilty, and the high likelihood is that he definitely probably did have many times with many different boys. I'm sure of that. Yes, indeed. But this is not the issue, because everybody in this fucking government, in the Congress, in the Senate, and the celebrities, and all of them are doing the same goddamn thing. They cannot point fingers at Michael Jackson and claiming that he's doing this, and it's, oh my God, I cannot believe it, how horrifying, he's raping little boys, and I can't believe it, and look at him, he talks like this, he acts like this, he must be doing it, when they're all doing the same goddamn thing, and they know it. That's why they couldn't convict his butt, because they know what they're doing too. And the only reason that they're trying to spit it on him that way is because Luce is making it that way, to point all the fingers at him and tell him that this. But the thing is, yes, there's no question about it. He probably had many different times. But it wasn't Michael in the bedroom saying, well, let me fuck you, suck my dick. Look at him. Could you please believe? Come on. Michael, we know him. We grew up with him. Forget about it. Since he was 5 years old, we know he's been famous all along, doing his music thing with the Jackson 5, etc., etc. So he's good at what he does, and he's not joking. I mean, this is really who he is. He's just never had a childhood. He's a grown man now, and he wants to have what he never did have, and he doesn't know how to become a real adult. He's really has the mind of a 6-year-old, except that he's brilliant and genius in all these musical dancing things that he does. It's just in him. It's automatic. He was just born that way, and that's why they picked him, to exploit him and to make money and sell his soul for rock and roll. And he did. Well, his father did it. However, Michael has, I don't know what the story is. There are rumors that before he did die, he was searching for some Christian something or another. I hope it wasn't Jehovah's Witness, because that's what his family believes in, and that's going to take you to hell. I'm sorry, it's awful, because his mother is a sweetheart, and I love her, and she loved her son, and she didn't lie about anything, and she, and only she, and guess who else? LaToya. The two of them are the only ones of the Jackson family that did not sign the contract to take all the money once he was dead. He only had $500 million left at the time of his death. Once he was dead more worth than he was alive. Hello, the super went, it from 500 million turned into quite nearly 2.6 billion fucking dollars, like literally overnight. And the whole family had to sign contracts so that they could each have a piece of a chunk of all that money, except for LaToya and the mother. They refused. They would not sign on the contract. No, they won't do it. I cannot believe it was LaToya that was the one instead of Janet, because it was Janet who got the doctor to go to the house to monitor him to make sure that he didn't OD. But see, nobody really knows what her agenda was, because she did sign the contract to get a chunk of that change, and she also was very close to her brother, and so was LaToya. They both were close to her brother and knew him very well, much closer than the other brothers were. They didn't have that kind of close contact, but the two sisters, those two did all along. And Janet, in fact, appears in at least 2 of his big hits that he made after he starts changing the music into his own. She's now performing along with him, so it's hard to know what's going on really, because the rumor was that she knew about the drug abuse. Of course, I mean, it's obvious, you know, as rock stars, musicians dying from drugs. This is come on, it's all connected. And I told you, the whole puzzle connects, every single dot. It has to, or else it can't be true. So you have to connect every piece of the puzzle to make it all work, and I can do it. It's just going to take forever. And hours and hours and hours of more footage of video, this video, that, and I'm exhausted, my God. And I have to cover the whole homosexual thing next, I think, because the whole world is now, or this country at the very least, is being told that they must be homosexuals. Everybody's homosexual now. We're all gay. Gay, so gay. Oh, happy, yes. No, look, it doesn't mean that they're evil or they're bad or any. I know it's an abomination to God, for sure that. Yes, indeed, he feels that way and he wants to kill you for it. But nonetheless, you still have a way out. You can get out of the bondage if you want to. It's up to you. Nobody's going to tell you what to do, but there are reasons behind it, and we may not know all of the reasons, but we do know some, and I will explain all of you what this is all about and the reasons for it and what it really, really means in truth, not in the bullshit that you're being told and the propaganda of all of it, and why it's being shoved down our throats and to be accepted and to do it. It's just the maniac that's making it that way, pretty much that. But this is a complicated thing because this goes back to ancient history. All the way back. There have always been homosexuals on the planet forever. That we do know. Okay? And we have scientists in verifying empirical evidence. I'll tell you about it in another video. I'm tired. I got to go. This is way too much. I'm exhausted. And I'm trying to make it as fun as possible. I just have to come up with new ideas of what to cover next, how to move forward, what is the best way to do this thing, because it's so goddamn complicated. There's so much information that needs to be attended to, and I know that you people out there you must be confused in such a big way because it's so clearly obvious. The whole world is bananas at this point because we did cross the galactic plane. There is a transcendence, that's the word, that's what I couldn't find. Remember earlier I'm like transsexual, no, transcendence. You have to find a transcendence of your mind to believe. Yes, you do. And this is my words to my song that I wrote with one of these artists that did not sign a blood contract. And another video will go through the music and you can hear the words. It could only be me that's writing the words. It's right in your face. It's so easy. Everybody that knows me, whoever I am, whatever you call me, I am whatever you say. I do not care. But I am who I am. I am what I am, and I don't have no reason to lie to you at all. I have every reason in the world to do only this. Because if I don't, hello, I'm not going home. And hell no, nobody's stopping me. This fucking bitch thinks that he can, my brother, and he's got big power. Yes, indeed he does. But hello, Christ has way bigger power than he does. I do know that much because he won't dare come around me. Not even anymore now, never. But we used to, of course, all the time hang out. And I was being repeatedly told, stop it, stop it, stop it. Cut that fucking relationship. No, no, no. You can't do that. No, no, no. You're going to get hurt. I'm going to fuck you up behind this. He's going to fuck you up. Both of us, we're going to fuck you up. So stop it. And I kept saying, no, 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 it's okay. I can change him. I can change him. I can change him. Like, what? Oh, yes, I'm going to change him. The devil. Oh, no. Who the fuck am I talking about? My own brother? No, he's a maniac. I cannot do that. He's sick. He's ill. He needs medication. I kept pleading to Christ, look, it isn't anything. He's not evil. He's not the devil. Stop saying that. No, no, no. And he keeps telling me, yes, he is. He's this. He's that. And I'm like, okay, please. I know. I agree. But look, it's something else. I just know it. Because he wasn't that way. He was perfect. Everything about him. I loved him to death. And we all did. We all loved each other. He's like, yes, but you know what's what? And anyways, I told you already, you got to cut that relationship. And if you don't, something is going to happen. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm worried now, and I'm scared, so I did have to cut it. Like, maybe, I guess now it's been 2+ years that we have not, he's tried many times to, come and to get me in to talk to him. Like, he'll come, like, just sometimes he'll show up as a human being in some other form, but I know who it is. I don't even bother. I just walk right past him and throw my hand in the air, because it's dangerous. I cannot allow myself to go and have a conversation with him, because he'll try to draw me in. That's his whole purpose, to bring me back over to their side and stop this thing from happening. Because if this information all gets out in the way that it's supposed to get out, with all the truth included, so that you can know all the things that you should know and you need to know to make a choice, because you're going to have to at some point or another. And if you never did nothing at all of a choice, never ever, then it's already done. You are going to the flame, into the pit, just because you are the creation of the devil. Whether you believe that or not is not important. I'm going to explain it all to you, and I can do it. Yes, I will. I'm going to do it in another video. We'll talk about that, and why it is and how it is that it's possible that he can have all this authority and owns you from birth. You are marked and stamped his property. And that is the truth, because you do come, all peoples, except the only one exception is the Hebrew bloodline. They're called Hebrew. That's the race. They are not all Jewish people. They happen to be Jewish at the same time, so all Hebrews are also Jewish, but not all Jews are Hebrews. Got it? That's a religious thing, and it's a political thing in addition to that. Political Zionism is the state of Israel. At the UN, their seat, they have a country, etc. That's the wickedness in their flag showing you in the face. It's witchcraft on the goddamn flags, calling it the Star of David. There was no Star of David. Yes, that's another story that you need to know about. David, why is that so important? I can cover all that too. It's important. You need to know all these things because it's very interesting and funny as shit too, by the way. It's incredible, the story behind all that. Between David and Solomon, the two reigns, those two kings alone, about 80 years of their Hebrew history, where God showered these two kings, David and his son Solomon, with quite nearly anything and everything they ever wanted. There's a very real reason why it's completely bananas and absurd that God would do such a thing for this, especially David. My God, he was doing every single thing you could ever think. Laws, are you kidding me? He breaks every single one every day. It's always another one, and yet he gets away with it all for some unknown reason. Well, there is a reason. I'll tell you what it is, but it's crazy as hell. But it is the only time in the Hebrew history of these peoples, the Hebrew peoples, where they didn't fuck up according to God. That's what I'm saying. It's only what he thinks that matters, what God and Christ say. They only them matter. Nobody else matters. It's only whatever they say. It's their thing. Got it? We don't have authority or power. We have what we have. Human beings have almost zero because their brains and their consciousness knows only what we know through this experience. So if you always walked into a swimming pool and went down and never walked on it 100 different times throughout your life, then what is the likelihood that you could convince this brain that it could walk on the water and make it believe it? You probably, quite nearly nobody can do it, because your brain has the experience of doing that every single time it does. You don't walk, you go down. So now, how can you convince this brain, which is now absolutely certain that we're going down no matter what? It's convinced because it's done it every single time, never did walk on it. So how are you going to convince it to say, I can? Well, you have to if you're going to walk on water. Hello? I can't even do that, okay? I can do other things. I'll explain those to you. They are easier, but they're also the same old way, like, for example, illness of different kinds, and I'll tell you how it's done later in another video, but I want something for this. I'm not giving away secrets to nobody. I'm selfish. It's my nature, and I want to be wicked and evil, and I can be deceptive as fuck as I want to. If I'm talking to my brothers or I'm talking to any of my other audience, it depends on who I'm speaking to. If I'm talking to just regular human beings that I don't know, I can't be sure which way, who they are, then I cannot make mistakes like that. I cannot talk, I cannot deceive, I cannot lie. There's no exceptions. I have to be giving, loving, all things, all the time. This is hard to do because we have a different nature. Our nature is to be wicked and fucked up and lying all the time. All of my brothers, including myself, that's why they keep calling me those names, because they don't see no changes in me, because I'm not showing it. I won't allow it to be seen. That's their problem, not mine. I wouldn't have the cover of my back by Christ if it wasn't so. He's not making a special exception for me. Who the fuck am I? I'm not important. Neither are they. They think they are, and they think that they got it all under control, but they ain't got no super weapons. I want to see the fucking evidence, you motherfucker. You don't got nothing. And you know your time is running out. It's an emergency. It's 5 minutes to midnight, and he's flipping out, bouncing off walls, talking about me all day long, obsessed with me because he can't stand it that he cannot shut me up or shut me down, anything, nothing. In 13 fucking years, he's still trying, and he cannot believe it. It's blowing his mind. He just is insane because of it, and I love it to death because I can say anything and everything that I want about that motherfucking lying piece of filth and call him any name I want to, and I am protected. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Praise the Lord. Yes, and that is the truth, because he is super big and powerful, and he could crush me like a bug in 2 seconds. Yeah, I wouldn't dare open my mouth against him. Are you fucking crazy? He's way too big for me. I was an archangel, but I wouldn't have dared done it then either. That's why I was terrified to do what I did. I just had to take a chance because I just knew I couldn't go along with his program. No way, no how. I just won't do it. You did this to us on purpose, and you tricked all of us, so I know you got something else going on that you're going to try to do, and it's going to fuck us again. I just knew it, so I had no other choice. I had to try. If I failed, then I'm going to get what I get, which is torture forever, and I knew that. I already knew. If I didn't get what I was asking for, it was going to be that, and that's all, because I did swear the oath, and I know what a maniac he is, and he's going to hurt me. So it was only by the luck of the draw that he said yes immediately. It was okay. But I never did make it home, and that was never the intention of God. He wanted me to pay for 2 prices and then throw me in the pit right with them. It was just that Christ was the unknown equation that nobody knew about ever until 2,000 years ago. And we're talking at the beginning of the planet, like 4.6 billion years ago. So it was in many, many, many billions of years, thousands more, to get to today. And Christ just showed up 2,000 years ago. He pops up, there he is, and then they killed him right along at 33 years old. He dies in the year 30 AD because the emperor was Tiberius in Rome at the time of his death. That's how we know the date is correct. And the birthday is 4 BCE, the Common Era, and it's September 24th. How do we know? Because the constellation Virgo is in the sky. You connect the dots, that's the Virgin Virgo. And in the middle, right where the stomach of the little baby coming out of the Virgin Virgo, where the womb is, okay, the brightest, biggest star in the sky that the wise men were taking to lead them to the direction of where this child was. Well, supposedly it's Bethlehem, but I'll cover that later because it's not. But nonetheless, they're following the star. What is the star? Why is it so bright? Because in the constellation Virgo, in September, from August 31st, 21st, till September 21st, the Virgo constellation is in the sky. That star that they're talking about isn't a star, it's the planet Jupiter, and it's rotating through that constellation at approximately the 23rd or the 24th, give or take. We're not absolutely certain, but I think it's the 24th, but it could be the 23rd. Either way, it's almost exactly the same thing. That Jupiter is actually rotating through the very womb of that virgin, hence the virgin birth, birthing a magical child, whatever Jesus was and became, happening because Jupiter, the planet, is circling into that right there at that belly moment, at that day, the 23rd or the 24th, signaling to you through the stars of the, you can see in the night sky of the constellation Virgin Virgo, is giving birth to the brightest thing in light in the sky is the planet Jupiter. That's what's doing it, and it will rotate back out of it. But during that month, it does it differently. I'm sorry, not that month. During the year 4 PCE, that's how we know it was that year. Because this year, according to the scientifics that and the mathematics that works out the astrophysics of how the rotation of the planets and Jupiter being in that position, it does always go through that position no matter what year, no matter what time. It's September, it will do so. However, in the year 4 BCE, they calculated, for some unknown reason, they don't know why, but it does a retrograde motion, in fact. For some unknown reason, it just stays in that position for like almost an entire week without moving. And this they cannot explain, but they have calculated that it will do it again in approximately 1,000 years from now. Okay, so maybe the millennial reign, yes indeed it will be, because everything in that book is true. I can absolutely assure you of that, and I'm going to prove it to you. Put all the pieces together so that you have absolutely no questions and no doubt whatsoever that either you will or you won't, but you have to have enough of the truth to say whether you will or you won't. You make whatever decision you want. If you never made one, and you don't have to, you're already property of the devil by birthright, so he's got you. You're done. You're toast. You're burning. You don't know it because you never did make a decision, so that's it. And that's just the way it is, and God doesn't have a problem with that. You're not his creation. He don't give a fuck about the rest of us. Because Lucifer cooked us up as a hybrid operation that became humanity, except for one bloodline that comes from Adam and Eve too. But Eve is also a creation, and I'll get into that one in another video. See, there's so much to this. It's complicated, and that's why I go back, forth, and it's just covering it all, because in my head, the puzzle, it's all done. So I can easily just jump here, jump there, thinking that I can explain it to you as easily as it is in my brain, but I have to be aware that, no, I cannot skip back, forth. People are going to think that I cannot, like, what am I doing? And they're not going to understand. So I'm doing it as much as possible to try to make it easy and fun, and using the different things and just laughing about it. Not that it's funny, it's horrifying, it's terrible, it's awful, it's very, very difficult and complicated shit. It's heavy, and that's the reason why I want to make it like, you know, something that you would want to, you know, be a part of, and to know these things, and somehow or another I can try my best to make it fun and enjoy the whole information without being like, you know, no way, that Bible is a lie, and this and that and the other, and having these stupid ass conflicts about evolution or religion. But yeah, this is nonsense. There's a reason for all that. I can put that together too. I just have to remember what I'm covering now, what I covered the last video, and then try to remember what to go next, because I have no more ideas. I'm just out of time. It's been 3 hours, my God. We'll have to see you. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Just wait for the next video. It'll be out very soon. Okay, thank you. Good night.